Thanks very much, Marie. What a wonderful evening here it is at the Aviva Stadium as Michael D. Higgins, Tutheron Heron, makes his way off, and we will now be standing for the two national anthems. Out on the vein. Tutheron Heron, Michael D. Higgins makes his way off, and we're in preparation now for this Group B match. Ireland, a disappointing result against Greece on Friday. They've got to put it behind them now. Beaten 1-0 by France here as well. Incidentally, France take on Greece tonight. Kicks off at the same time here, 7:45. So we will keep an eye on that particular game. 5 changes, if you haven't heard already, in the Republic of Ireland lineup from that 2-1 loss. Michael Obafemi comes in, the 22-year-old on loan from Southampton. He's gone to Burnley at the moment. He's got 2 goals in his 10 internationals. Perhaps no surprise, Darragh Lenihan has been dropped and Dara O'Shea has come in for his 19th cap. James McLean, heard a lot about him, the 34-year-old. Brilliant 100 cap tonight for him. Exit Derry, Stoke City, 11 goals. In fact, the leading goal scorer for Ireland in this starting 11. Jason Knight of Derby County comes in for his 20th cap. We've also got Jamie McGrath from Dundee United on loan from Wigan, earning his 8th cap, the man from Athboy in County Meath. Just the one change for Gibraltar, by the way, and League of Ireland players would be perhaps familiar with this name. Louis Annesley in for the injured Lee Casario. Casario drops out altogether. Annesley, the 23-year-old, plays for Dundalk. Kenny Cunning beside me. Your impressions of the Irish starting 11?
Yeah, I don't think too much will change from structure-wise, John, from what we saw over in Greece. Looks like back 5, midfield 3 in that front 2. Obafemi obviously given the nod tonight alongside Evan Ferguson. I'm probably sacrificing a little bit of tenacity in that central midfield area by bringing Jamie McGrath in with Will Smallbone. Maybe more of a ball playing in that central midfield area. The balance being Josh Cullen, just giving us a bit of the defensive solidity. But the key is going to be the ability of Jamie McGrath and Will Smallbone to connect with that front 2, John, and the wing backs as well, to give us plenty of width for the duration of this game. And if they can do that, we see plenty good combination play. Hopefully we'll see plenty of chances created during the course of the 90 minutes.
I think the last time we were together on a Gibraltar match was on that plastic pitch, wasn't it, in Gibraltar itself. Yeah, it wasn't great. Airplanes taking away off from our left-hand side on the giant runway of theirs.
Felt like a plane spotter that night, John, to be honest with you. You were loving it.
So I'm a plane spotter, am I? Fair enough. So it is Republic of Ireland, Bazunu in goal. Nathan Collins, Egan alongside O'Shea. Then midfield, we've got Josh Cullen, Jamie McGrath, Jason Knight and James McLean captaining the side tonight on the occasion of his 100th appearance out on the left. And in the middle is Will Smallbone. Michael Obafemi will probably just play behind Evan Ferguson. For Gibraltar, just that one change we mentioned, and it is Louis Annesley in for his 37th cap tonight. The Republic of Ireland get us underway in the bright sunshine here at the Aviva Stadium, although the ground itself is covered in shadow. Really nice night, and I've turned up maybe a little bit overdressed.
Got it all wrong, John, didn't you? What were you thinking? Now look at the weather forecast.
Lovely day today. Let's be out and about as well, and Ireland attacking the Havelock Square end in this first half across the area. Oh, and a shot comes in immediately from Jamie McGrath, and it's straight at the goalkeeper Dale Cooling. 7 saves he made against France to give it a 3-0. Perhaps Ireland should have scored.
Yeah, it was a very good chance. Good play from Jason Knight down that right hand side. It was clever. It's kind of a cut back towards the penalty spot, and that's what we just spoke about just before the game, John. Jamie McGrath, Will Smallman got to be arriving in the box all night. That's exactly what he did. Just didn't find the corners. Made a pretty good connection on the inside of his right foot, but unfortunately straight at the goalkeeper.
Well, Ireland had the ball back in their own half of the field. The 2 team lineups were announced before the game. There was 1 or 2 boos as well when the name Stephen Kenny was announced, but I was talking to a young reporter outside the ground as I was coming in, who was doing some what we call vox pops, interviewing the supporters outside the ground, and she said the majority of them were still backing Stephen Kenny. Will be still in charge after this game? Will he still be in charge come September when they're playing the likes of the Dutch and the French? Well, time will only tell, but it seems to me the fans are, some of them anyway, are still on the side.
Yeah, I think so. A bit flat outside, John, to be honest, rambling down to the game, and even maybe 5-10 minutes before kick-off we were looking around, weren't we? Looked about half full, but I think with the evening that's in it, and Dublin such a beautiful evening, most people, supporters, were leaving at the last minute till they get inside the stadium. It's a fair crowd, not quite capacity, John, is it? But most of the seats are full, and yeah, there's a bit of energy there before the game, so we have to build on that. That's going to be the responsibility of the players, isn't it? Get on the ball, get it forward, start creating opportunities, and give this crowd something to shout about. Dale
Cooling, all in yellow, away to our left-hand side. Goalkeeper for Gibraltar is wearing his all yellow gear tonight. He's 25 caps in to his career. Lincoln Red Imps, one of the many teams that play in Gibraltar League, the champions, and Cooling is their goalkeeper as well. Played well against France, even though he conceded 3. Here's John O'Shea, was captain the other night against France against Greece, I should say, in the absence of Seamus Coleman, but he's relinquished that now to give James McLean a well-earned stab at being captain. And Ireland ball across the area, and that ball is hacked behind of Cian Ronan, the 22-year-old, and that could have gone absolutely anywhere. Again, a lot of joy down that right-hand side for the Republic. It's a corner. Yeah,
he's done great there, Jason Knight. Just showing those energy levels, John, running 50-60 yards, top speed. Not only that, beating the full-back, getting another cross, similar to the one previously. Unfortunately, Jane McGrath is a bit late in arriving on this occasion, but still a corner.
Will Smallbone, his place was under threat, but he gets a 3rd start for his country. He's going to take this corner. A referee, incidentally, is Marian Barbu. He is from Romania. It's an all-Romanian crew tonight. He wants to have a word with John Egan and Niels Hartmann. He has got a club, actually, born in the Netherlands, but he's earning his 3rd cap tonight. Here comes Smallbone's cross in towards Collins, and probably should have been Collins' header, but I think Josh Cullen got in his way, and this comes straightly back into the goalkeeper's hands. Dale Cooling remains at 0-0. We're in the 4th minute. The singing section away to our right-hand side, kind of quiet, I suppose. If we had a bigger name here like the France or the Dutch, it's supposed to be a lot louder, but games against Gibraltar, the expectation is Ireland should win these games easily. They've played them 4 times, beaten them 4 occasions, scored 17, conceded 0.
Yeah, that will be the expectation, John, you're right, but I think it's the manner of the victory tonight which is just as important. Now, we don't want to stumble to a 2-3-0 victory this evening. I think the man of the performance is important in terms of putting down some kind of marker going forward for the games to come in, and still a little bit more confidence inside the players. I think that's a premium. Confidence can't be high at the moment, John, after that result in Greece.
Certainly not. Here's El Hamidi. wearing number 9, midway inside the Irish half of the field. All white tonight for Gibraltar. The ball is played into the penalty area, Republic of Ireland's penalty area. A little consternation there. There was a suggestion that Bazuna will come and collect that ball, but he decided to stay in his line. This played down the right-hand side, but then knocked out of play by Michael Obafemi. So a throw to Gibraltar, midway inside the Irish half of the field, out on the right-hand side. Ireland have only won 2 of their last 11 away matches in the Euro qualifiers over the last 9 years. They lost 2-1 against Greece, and both of those away game victories were against Gibraltar. And here they are tonight here at the Aviva Stadium. This is Niels Hartmann, a 22-year-old, knocks it back to John Sargent, 28, another one of those Lincoln Red Imps players, and they seem to be confident enough on the ball, knocking it back and forward. Down the line they go, but I think it's going to go straight out of play, and held a derision from one or two of the Irish supporters. As it goes out of play, it's going to be a throw on that far side for Ireland, midway inside their own half of the field.
Yeah, it's a back 5 for the Gibraltar, isn't it? Sargent, Oliveira playing in the wing-back positions, looking at Roy Cipollina, 40 years of age, John playing right side of that back 3. Michael Obafemi and Ferguson have to recognise that. And if the opportunity presents itself to get 1v1 against him, it's a space in behind. They've got to fancy their chances against the highly experienced, yes, but certainly not the most mobile in that Gibraltar team.
Well, I said a no dare there because Josh Cullen tried to play it at that right-hand side, but it was overhit behind Jason Knight, and he couldn't bring it in, so it's a throw on that far side. They're taking their time, tried to inch a couple of ways forward towards the halfway line. Eventually cleared down the line by Louis Annesley of Dundalk into the Irish half of the field, but a nice cushioned header brings it back to Bazunu. And Ireland in the shape of Dara O'Shea, earning his 19th cap tonight from West Brom, in for Dara Lenihan. Dara Lenihan and O'Dowd in particular struggled against Greece the other night. They brought on McLean, and he did a better defensive job, so he's keeping his possession, or come on as a sub, of course, and he's starting the game tonight to earn his 100th cap. But Ireland attacking now down the left-hand side with McGrath. McGrath digs it into the penalty area. It wasn't the greatest of crosses. With his right foot, he's got more power with his left, and it's eventually put out of play, and it's going to be a throw to Ireland, quickly taken. The fact that they're bringing O'Shea and Dara O'Shea back for Lennon, what do you think to that switch?
Yeah, I think it was predictable enough. I thought Dara Lennon done okay the other night, but generally speaking, when Dara O'Shea's been kind of fit and available, he's played, John. I think what gives him the edge against most players in that position is distribution. Dara, predominantly right foot, he plays off the left, but his distribution from back to front is fantastic, particularly the big diagonal 40-50 yards. He's capable of hitting that regularly, so yeah, I think that gets him the nod over most defenders in that position. Dara
O'Shea exchanging passes there between themselves and Jamie McGrath inside the Gibraltar half of the field. It's ball knocked towards the far post. It's a poor one, unfortunately, from Nathan Collins to nobody in particular. James McLean was never going to get that out of play. Goal kick. Yeah. Gibraltar remains 0-0.
Yeah, it was Jamie McGrath making that run, that inside left run. That's the ball he was trying to hit on Nathan Collins. It's a good test for the players tonight. The lad spoke about Obafemi's pace before the game, but he may not have too many opportunities to show it this evening. There's going to be a low defensive block from Gibraltar, so the boys are going to have to be clever. It's going to be about using the ball well, good decision making in possession, clever pass and little combinations all over the pitch. Spoke about the front 2, that midfield 2 as well, John. Wing backs joining in. There's not going to be a lot of space there in between that bank of 5 and bank of 4 from Gibraltar, so yeah, just going to have to think about it. Michael Obafemi's going to have to present himself at times to receive the ball into his feet, keep hold of it. Sometimes he can knock it off one touch. Just going to have to get his head up and bring other players into the game. It's not just about himself running into the space in behind this evening. So that's the test. That will be the test for this Irish team for the majority of the game this evening.
8.5 minutes gone. Remains at 0-0. Ball bounced off James McLean there. It's gone out for a goal kick to Gibraltar. And it's Dale Cooling to take it once again. That's a good thump of the ball. Left-footed into the Irish half of the field. Good strong header from John O'Shea, and Smallburn just nods it on out to the right-hand side to pick up Jason Knight, the 22-year-old from Derby. Plenty of room to move in towards the edge of the penalty area. Cuts inside, lays it off to Cullen. Cullen in turn out to Smallbone, out on that right-hand side. Chance to line well up into the penalty area it goes, but it's eventually cleared, or half cleared. A little bit of confusion there because Michael Obafemi was close to charging that down, but they eventually get it cleared. Gibraltar into the Irish half of the field. Headed on, down towards the halfway line where Stephen Kenny will quickly collect and show his own football skills and play it to Jamie McGrath. Lots of talks about Stephen Kenny. We'll talk about that in a second, because Ireland are pressing forward now with Nathan Collins, 2 goals to his credit, out tonight on that right-hand side, trying to back one into the penalty area. Here goes Smallborn across the area. Not the greatest across. The Smallborn wouldn't put it in front of Obafemi. Decided to go behind him. The man had run ahead of the ball, and so the chance was lost. But Ireland get a throw. Quickly taken. Collins tonight. Smallbone was behind him, but he goes with Collins instead. Collins has a little look up and plays it to Smallbone, level with the edge of the area, out on that right-hand side. And a beautiful night for, I don't know, anything. Out in the park, watching the game of football, playing the game of football. In towards Michael Obafemi, but he just took it off the run of Jason Knight, who he didn't see in behind him, and he just towed it away from him. That may be a half a chance, but anyway, Ireland have a lot of pressing and a lot of the possession in this opening 10 minutes, but remains at 0-0. Chance early on for Jamie McGrath, which he couldn't convert. Here's the 100-cap boy. McLean swings it towards the back post, but easy for the goalkeeper. Coling, a nice catch for him, drops on the ground and remains at 0-0.
Yeah, it's just the quality of that final ball again, John, wasn't it? Jamie McGrath got himself into a similar position a few minutes ago, checked back onto his right foot, great position to put an in-swinging ball, couldn't beat that first man. And again, James McLean, a little check back onto his favourite left foot, plenty of time to whip his left foot around it, just couldn't quite do it, so it was an easy catch for the goalkeeper. So all of those things kind of matter, that little bit of quality in the final third of the pitch in terms of opening up the opposition.
Darragh O'Shea, ex-St Kevin's boys, and the 24-year-old signed for West Brom, earning his 19th cap tonight. Looks very fit, trim. And number 4, back to John O'Shea. John O'Shea, captain the other night, as you mentioned, out to Nathan Collins, and in turn goes out to Knight. Smallbone is alongside him, but he's going to go and try and get to the byline. It's a good challenge out that far side from Ethan Brito, who spotted him going down the byline on the right hand side, knocked it out of play, but it's a throw for Ireland. Straight to Collins. Collins inside to Darragh O'Shea, all lining up on the edge of the penalty area. Teams in white, the manager and coach basically of Gibraltar is Julio Ribas. He played 15 times for Uruguay, the 66-year-old, and he's been in charge since 2018. So he's made something of this team. In fact, that they know what their positions are. They might be the greatest team in the world, but they seem to line up in the best positions that he suggests.
No, you're right, John. It's a decent defensive structure. You can see the distances between them. Everybody understands their responsibility, kind of out of position, in particular relationship between wing-backs and the wide midfielders, Oliveira and Brito down that left-hand side, and Ronan and Sargent down the right. We're having plenty of ball here, John, aren't we, in front of the Gibraltar in midfield. I mean, this is easy. I mean, there's hardly no pressure here. It's the next ball, the one that's kind of breaking the lines, that's taking the Gibraltar players out of the game, which is the important one, which is the ball we want to see more of. Even get the ball quickly into wide areas, which you can do now. Get it to Jason Knight, opening up and getting early crosses into the box.
Josh Cullen tries to slide into McLean, but Ribeiro was in the way there, and the chance is lost, and now it's pumped into the Irish half of the field. It's going to roll out of play, and it's going to be a throw, and Darragh O'Shea is going to take that. O'Shea midway inside the Irish half of the field, the Lansdowne Road section at his back, into O'Shea. Plays it to Cullen, facing the wrong way, has to spin, and now walks into the Gibraltar half of the field. Outside of him is Knight on that right-hand side. Forward of him is Smallbone, but he ignores him and plays it infield to Cullen. Cullen, little chip forward by Evan Ferguson. His first involvement in the game is a poor one. And for Ireland's possession, they haven't created anything yet, bar that early chance for Jamie McGrath, which he should perhaps have converted.
Yeah, just the quality of that combination play is not there. Like we're saying, John, they're allowing us to travel 20 yards inside their half the pitch and just saying, are you good enough to kind of break us down? Where's the kind of that bit of quality combination that's going to get through us? And at the moment, it's just not quite there. And haven't seen any real combination between Ferguson and Obafemi higher up the pitch. Josh Cullen's been a little bit sloppy in terms of his passing his way. Saw a sloppy pass from Darragh O'Shea there. Just spoke about how good he is in terms of moving the ball from back to front. He gave it away a little bit cheaply, so that has to improve.
Voice of Kenny Cunningham on an extended game on here on RTE2 FM. Game on, Marie Crow and Shane Dawson with you, 6 till 7, 2FM, Monday to Friday. Here's Ireland once again with the ball. I'd say Kevin Bazunu, when he's hoping to be a little bit of a spectator in his all maroon jersey and shorts. Here's McLean down that left-hand side, inside to McGrath, Jamie McGrath. And here's O'Shea. O'Shea's a little look up. It's still pretty crowded in front of him. Banks of 4 and 5 ahead of him. Cullen, it's gone too far for him and he slides in, but at least got something on that and played it out to Smallbone. Smallbone into Knight. Knight on that far side. Now coming back towards this side as well. O'Shea, they're swinging it from right to left to try and get the Gibraltans moving in unison and then try and make some kind of break as McGrath whips it into the penalty area. Going to fall for Cullen. Thought he was going to shoot. The crowd urged him to. He didn't play a great ball out tonight. He has had to spin out to that right hand side and put his foot on the ball, and he's got a corner. Now it's the second corner for Ireland in the 15th minute. A little bit better from Ireland there.
Yeah, it's better from Jamie McGrath. Just dropped his shoulder. I think a good little ball into the box. Chest volley back to Josh Cullen. Decided not to take on the shot. Wasn't the greatest pass, John. You're right. Forced Jason Knight a little bit wide. The kind of move lost its impetus after that. But at least he's forced the corner.
So no Matt Doherty in the Irish lineup. Given a straight card for violent conduct on Friday late in that game. Smallbone's going to take this on this far side. In fact, it's McLean who takes it towards the back post. And there was Collins lurking, but he just couldn't get a touch on it. He's claiming he got his shirt tugged, but it's gone out for a goal kick. McLean has switched wings to take that corner, and in the 16th minute now it still remains at 0-0, and no real threat by that one shot on the Gibraltar goal so far.
Yeah, but that ball rising in a great area. Not exactly sure James McLean was looking to put it into that back post area, John, but it ended up a brilliant delivery. Dar O'Shea was arriving late, but a little bit too late. Nathan Collins was kind of being tightly marked in the back post, so he couldn't get on the end of it, but it was delivered into a really good area.
It's almost metronomish the way Gibraltar are playing. They're very well organised, as you say, and when they're doing kick-outs, they decide to do one of two things. They either get the goalkeeper to kick it out, or they'll bring two defenders back. But we've been squeezing that up towards the edge of the penalty area with Ferguson and Michael Obafemi. So they've tried a different tactic where they'll play it out to John Sargent. Now they've got defending to do. Ball across the ball, Smallbone. Oh, Smallbone, well, he's not that tall, so went over the top of his head. Here's Cullen, picks it up, lays it off to O'Shea. Cries of shoot. Here's O'Shea, shoots. It's on target, straight down the throat of the goalkeeper, though.
Yeah, but good to see him take responsibility. John could easily have checked back on the inside and played a kind of square ball. He didn't. Took responsibility on to shoot. Would have liked him to let loose there. It was more of a controlled shot, wasn't with the inside of his right foot. He can really strike it hard. He's got a hammer of a right foot on him, Darrett. Unfortunately, just couldn't get the accuracy straight at the goalkeeper.
So the whistle from our Romanian referee, Mariam Barbu, gives Gibraltar a free kick after Abu El Hamidi, who made his debut against France, the 22-year-old, was fouled. So it's just inside the Irish half of the field. It's going to be Ethan Brito to take it.
Did he get any touches against France, Sean? Do you know the data on that game?
I didn't really watch it.
He couldn't have got too many, could he?
No.
To be honest with you.
Here's Brito to take it, though, left-footed. Debut age 17 back in 2018 for Gibraltar. This is their first real attack on the Irish goal, and they're just asking one of the Irish players, Jason Knight, to move back. And that ball was a decent ball, but it just rolled safely into the arms of Gavin Bazunu when the danger is averted. Now it's rolled out to Smallbone, and Ireland can now attack because Gibraltar is struggling to get back in towards Obafemi. Oh, Obafemi should have just stuck out a foot in that instead of just trying to caress it into the back of the net. Should have had a real dive at that, and he would have diverted it in. Anyway, Ireland still retain possession. Here's McLean out on the left-hand side. Goes one way, then the other. Right-footed towards the back post. Has gone over everybody's head, and it's out for a goal kick. Better from Ireland, but again a chance goes a begging.
Yeah, Michael Obafemi's got his head in his hands there. He knows this was a real chance. The problem was he presumed Brito, I think it was, the Gibraltar defender, was going to deal with it. He should have done. He took a wide swing at it, missed it. In those situations, you have to anticipate as a forward. You've got to anticipate he's going to miss it. Don't take it for granted he's going to clear the ball. By the time he'd missed it, he couldn't react quickly enough, Obafemi, and the chance was gone.
Well, you can hear the groans from the crowd because that miss was put and relayed across to the Viva crowd. And you could hear the groans saying, well, perhaps they're thinking the same way myself. He should have had a go at it. Josh Cullen out that far side. Referee, I thought for a moment it's going to give a foul to Gibraltar, but it's actually a throw to the Republic of Ireland.
I'm glad I didn't show all my mistakes at international level, John, on the video screen 5 seconds after I made them.
Oh, sure. Look,
Oh, my
commentators
God,
make
can you
mistakes
imagine?
all the time, apparently.
It would have been a constant reel of mistakes. I'd never have been off
I
it.
never played mine back, thankfully. Here's McLean out on the left-hand side. Chance to swing one into the penalty area. Lays it short, though, instead to O'Shea. O'Shea, again, urged to shoot, but he's not going to do that. Plays it to Jamie McGrath, the 26-year-old. And now to Collins. Collins moving forward to Smallbone. They're out on the right-hand side now. It's very small, intricate passing, but no breakthrough so far. Hopefully they can do that. Here's Jason Knight. Back to Smallbone again. Shaving of head. Here he goes again out on that right-hand side. But it's all too tight. It's all small little passes. Cullen, nobody's breaking through. Here's Dara O'Shea in a very central position. Into Cullen again. Smallbone and Cullen has been deemed to have committed a foul. Frustration. 20 minutes gone, remains 0-0.
Yeah, we're going around in circles there, John. I've got to be honest with you. It was interesting. We walked the ball over to Nathan Collins. He's 15 yards outside the penalty box to the right-hand side. I'm looking at our two centre-forwards. He's got his head up. One of our centre-forwards has to get across, present himself, pin the opposition centre-half, John, and encourage Nathan Collins to fire that ball into his feet, make it stick in the edge of the box, and then the likes of Will Smallbone and Jamie can get themselves involved. Both of our centre-forwards are over the other side of the penalty box, not looking to get themselves involved. There's no focal point there for the attack, so Nathan Collins comes back, plays it on the inside, another couple of sideways passes, and we give the ball away.
Well, there's plenty of anniversaries tonight. 100 caps for worthy James McLean. It's also 600 games not out for the Republic of Ireland international team, the first under the auspices of the FAI, who broke away from the IFA in 1921. A friendly against Italy in Turin in 1926 ended in a 3-0 defeat. We'll go through the rest of the hundreds, 2, 3, 4 or 5 as the game progresses. In the 22nd minute, still remains at 0-0 in this one. Group B, the Euro qualifier, launched across the area, but it's going to drift out of play, is it? No, it's going to be kept in play on this near side by Jamie McGrath. Back to Josh Cullen. Josh Cullen back to McLean on the left-hand side. He's going to just tee up a cross here. It's deflected off a defender over towards Knight. Knight gets a header across the area. It was eventually cleared by Niels Hartmann down towards the halfway line where Nathan Collins should be able to pick it up. Does well, actually, the big man. That's just a ball bouncing around, and he controlled it very well, and Ireland can resume this attack with Cullen. Cullen inside, and Evan Ferguson just rustled out of it for the time being. Out to the far side, here comes Knight. Knight tries to climb into the penalty area. Cullen urged to shoot. There's a Gibraltar player on the ground, but the referee lets the play go on. Smallbone, this is back to goal, plays it back to Cullen. Cullen dumps it into the area, and it's headed clear by the captain, Roy Cipollina, and still the Gibraltar player now gets back to his feet. It's Brito, and he's hobbling around, so momentarily Gibraltar down to 10, you would think. Ball in the centre position. We've reached the midway point of the opening half here at the bright, sunny Aviva Stadium, as it remains 0-0 in this Group B Euro 2024 qualifier. Fizzed across the area in the general direction of Ferguson, but he can't reach it because there's two white shirts in his way. Here comes James McLean. McLean plays it back to O'Shea. Back to McLean again. Chance to tee one up perhaps, but he's got to go short and play it to Josh Cullen. Goes on a run, dumps it over the top in towards McLean, but he's never going to reach that because it's headed clear by Brito. Seems to be okay again. Here's Ferguson on the edge of the area, shoots, and that's 3 now that the keepers had to deal with. 3 on target. A good snapshot from Ferguson, but just couldn't be the goalkeeper.
Yeah, just maybe a bit of an indication of Evan Ferguson's frustration that he's having to drop 10 yards outside the penalty box to receive the ball. Ideally, really, we don't want him there, John. We want him 10-15 yards inside the box, leaving that responsibility to the likes of Josh Cullen to get on the ball and find him a little bit higher up the pitch. That said, there's a decent strike off his right foot. But like I said, just a bit of a struggle. We're doing okay up until a point, but when it needs that bit of a killer ball or a bit of combination play that's going to open Gibraltar up, we've been found wanting up until now. I referenced Jason. I think he's been our best player in the opening 23 minutes of this game down the right-hand side. He's done really well, getting himself in 1v1 situations, looking to take on his man, put some decent crosses into the box, and even got on the end of a James and McLean cross into the far post early there a couple of minutes ago. So he's had a good opening.
There's 25 minutes gone in the other game in this Group B qualification. France against Greece, that remains at 0-0. Here's Josh Cullen. Here's it out the far side tonight. Ripple of applause around the Aviva Stadium for a nice cushioned pass. Here's Collins. Smallbone. Ireland got to be patient here. If they're going to break them down, get a goal, and then start really having a go. Here's Obafemi on the edge of the area, tries to go down one cul-de-sac, can't find his ways out of it, so he turns his back on the player and then works his way towards the edge of the penalty area, goes over. Referee says that's no foul, small ball in the way, but all he can do is knock it out of play, and Obafemi says, here, referee, why wasn't that a free?
Yeah, but that's not a strength, John. Similar to Evan Ferguson just a couple of minutes ago, coming deep, coming into midfield to receive the ball, a position of the pitch which is kind of alien to him, getting kind of crowded out and giving away possession of the ball. Just love to see our centre forwards get themselves more involved in that kind of build-up play. At least one of them, this is the beauty of playing up front too, John, when you're walking down one side of the pitch, at least one of them's got to get itself across and present themselves to receive the ball off the wide man or the full back, or Nathan Collins, whoever it is who's driving forward down that side of the pitch. Don't see that pattern so far in terms of when we have possession of the football in those areas of the pitch.
We've had chances, haven't converted. 25 minutes in, remains at 0-0. Republic of Ireland with the vast majority of possession and still have it. McLean down the line, it goes to McGrath. McLean still behind him. He's going to tee it up. Well, it's a poor pass, really. Let's go and make something of it. In fairness to Gibraltar, they've really stuck to their task really well. It's mopped up. Cullen inside to Egan in a very central position. Again, trying to play this game of swinging it from left to right. Here's Knight. Obafemi in the penalty area, across towards Ferguson. Well dealt with by a player in white. I think it was John Sargent who got that clear. Here's Cullen bursting his way forward. 2 goals for the Republic of Ireland so far in his previous internationals. But he's called out of it, or closed down, and they've got a throw. Quickly taken. Smallbone's inside. They're going to drop it back now towards Smallbone. And here's Cullen in the centre position. Egan, Cullen, back to O'Shea. Can they break them down? McGrath. Crowd's really quiet here. It's like a test match at Lord's. They're all mumbling and talking about the game rather than singing about it, because they need and want Ireland to score. Cullen tries to dig one over the top. It doesn't work. His man closed them down really well. But Ireland retained the ball with Nathan Collins. Collins, though, that's a poor ball. Brito gets it clear back to Bazzuno.
Yeah, but the poor part was like 30 seconds earlier. James McLean getting the ball in a wide area level with the 18-yard box, John. There's no Ireland player within 15-20 yards and just leaving them to it in a 1v1 situation. You know, James McLean at his age isn't going to be able to beat his opposition man 1v1 on the outside. He needs help, needs a midfielder, needs, for fear of repeating myself, needs one of those centre forwards to come across, present themselves so he can pop the ball into his feet and continue his run. Pretty predictable at the moment, plenty of sideways pass and getting the ball up to a point to the edge of the 18-yard box, and then we just lose a little bit of confidence and don't really seem to be able to find a way to work a little combination to get the ball into the 18-yard box and get a shot on target.
0-0. Ironic cheers to the bell in the Irish for the field inside the Lansdowne Road singing section. It's usually a Pat supporter with that bell.
That reminded me of the school bell, John. It's lunchtime. You have to get back into the classroom. Football, the five-a-side football game was over.
Exactly.
You pick up your jumper. Pick up your jumper.
And don't be scuffing your shoes.
Head back in, yeah. Head back into the classroom, sweating. Double match in the afternoon, sweating.
Here's Cullen. Might as well have a laugh. Knight bursting forward down the right-hand side. Gets to the byline, squeezes it across. Again, it's dealt with very well. They're very well organised. Gibraltar at the back here. Keepers had to make a couple of saves. Here's Cullen. Dumps it into the penalty area towards Ferguson and also McLean. But again, well organised defence. Little cushion header puts it out of play. Throw to the Republic of Ireland. Quickly taken. Back to Dara O'Shea in for Lenihan. One of 5 changes tonight from that disappointing 2-1 defeat to Greece on Friday night, which we brought you here on Game On. Out this near side to McLean. We're in the 29th minute. Here's a chance for a ball across the area towards Ferguson, and Ireland get their 3rd corner of the opening half, and Ireland can profit. Ireland can profit definitely from set balls situations, dead ball situations, and that's why you can feel the noise level go up. So it's going to be James McLean to take it. It's going to be an outswinger. Plenty of green shirts in the penalty area. Here it comes towards the edge of the 6-yard box. And the shot comes in from Knight, but it's a long way out. And Bazzuno is urged to shoot. And the ball is in his own penalty, in his own area, or his own half, I should say, of the field as he lays it up towards Cullen. McLean goes on a bit of a run on the left-hand side, but then checks his run because he was going to run into an offside position. Then he lays it down the line to the 18-year-old Evan Ferguson. Tries to beat his man, but again, that's a cul-de-sac. Back he goes to Jamie McGrath. In turn, plays it to Dara O'Shea into a central position. John Egan. You're going to hit the crisis shoot all the time as soon as it opens up, but the team in white sitting back and doing their job. They'd be delighted to get a draw out of this one. 4 defeats to the Republic of Ireland before this game. One of those was a 7-0 defeat. We're in the half hour. McLean puts it into where it hurts. Goalkeeper and Ferguson came together. I think Ferguson was just put off by Coling coming towards him, and again, like Michael Obafemi, didn't really throw himself at the ball. It's goal kick.
Oh, James McLean rolling back the years there. Again, isolated 1v1, but he beats his man on the outside. Beats the man at the near post area. It arrives inside the 6-yard box, and the surprise is that Evan Ferguson doesn't put this in the back of the net. You might be right, John, out of his peripheral vision. He saw the goalkeeper coming out there, maybe distracted him for a second, but he was under very little pressure there. I'm really surprised he didn't make a better connection and put that into what really was an unguarded net.
The 18-year-old, 221 caps elevated to the seniors. It's a 6th tonight. And a goal against Latvia. And 10 goals in total for Brighton this season in the English Premier League. But I must say, if you're a follower or liker of defending, and certainly this is the place to be, because Gibraltar are defending extremely well. They're well marshalled under their Uruguayan coach, even though they're copped up with possession a lot. And they're obviously going to try and rely on a break, and they might get one here as this played up to El Hamidi. And he, though, unfortunately from his point of view and Gibraltar's point of view, commits the foul, and it's going to be free for Ireland just inside their own half of the field.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, John, when you're struggling to break these teams down with a low defensive block, you almost take a step off them and encourage them out, let them have possession, almost invite them into your area of the pitch. And when you do that, they actually commit players into advanced areas of the pitch and open themselves up. And if you pinch the ball off them, then there's spaces to break into.
Cullen towards the back post. Goalkeeper does well and holds on to it under pressure from not only Jason Knight, who was coming in from that right-hand side, but his own defender as well. Like the cut of his jib, he's actually played well against France. Good seven good saves in that game. He's made 3 tonight. So far, he's commanding his area really well.
I don't like the cut of your jib tonight with those long sleeve top you've got on. You must be baking. Come on, John, admit it.
No, it'll get colder later
on. Your body temperature's going through the roof. I'm worried about you.
I'm old.
We need cold water up here, quick.
Bucket of water for Mr. Kenny. Forced out to the far side to Gibraltar's pleasure and favour as they got themselves a throw. And it's going to be Jace Olivero playing club football for Europe FC in Gibraltar. And another one of those anniversaries. He's earning his 50th cap tonight, Jace Olivero. 100 caps for McLean, 50 for Olivero. I did mention that 600 games not out for the Republic of Ireland. The 100 international was against Belgium, but which more later, because here comes Michael Obafemi and he loses control of the ball at the wrong moment, and a little nudge in the back on Ferguson makes sure that the ball goes out for a goal kick. Just a little bit too anxious there, Michael.
Yeah, one of those situations where they gave it up in possession, John. They were a little bit open. There was space for Obafemi to turn and run at them. Shame, really, the heavy touch. He had options left and right. I'm not exactly sure he saw them. I think he had his mind made up to drive at the last defender himself. I'm not sure that was the greatest option. Even still, took the heavy touch, and that was the end of that.
Got a shot of Julio Riberos, the 66-year-old on our monitor down here, 15 Uruguayan cap. So he's been around the squad for the last 5 years, so he knows his players well. And he's obviously got a level of discipline, if not goal scoring, but certainly in defence for his side. What am I saying there? Oh yeah, the 100 international was against Belgium for the Republic. This is our 600th. That was at Dalymount Park on the 25th of March 1965. Ireland lost that one 2-0, of which more anon. Ball on the halfway line. Sargent lays it down and then across to the far side, and Ireland now back in their own half of the field defending against Louis Annesley. Louis Annesley of Dundalk in the League of Ireland. His only other chance to play here would be in the cup final. I'd say he's revelling in it. It's the only change from the match against France in for the experienced Lee Casario, the 23-year-old from plays for Dundalk. And Ireland defend well with Smallbone as we've reached 34 minutes here at the Aviva Stadium. 3 decent saves, half decent saves, really you would have expected from Coling. But so far, nothing to show for Ireland as McLean comes hurtling in from the left-hand side. You can see what he's trying to do, just to cut it into the top corner, but it was well wide in the end.
Yeah, Jason Knight's done great. It's interesting, occasionally when Gibraltar get the ball or forward the ball up to the centre forward, Himidi Britta, who's playing left of the midfield forward, it's his responsibility. He drives on the inside and looks to link up with Himidi on every occasion. But if they give up the ball, which they did on that occasion, Nathan Collins wins it back. They're open down their left-hand side. John Brito can't get back, so Jason Knight is getting the ball in space and he's running quickly. Olivero in a 1v1 situation. That's about the third or fourth time now he's got the better of him, just popping it on his outside. And that was a really good ball to the back post. Haven't seen too many of them. Most of them been flashed towards that near post area. That was just stood up beautifully to the back post, waiting to be headed. It's exactly what James McLean did. Unfortunately, just wide of the post.
Well, you can hear the noise level goes up as McLean hurdles a challenge and works his way up to the left-hand side, but he didn't hurdle that challenge. I'm going to see our first yellow card of the game as McLean got by one, but he couldn't get by Sargent. John Sargent, the 28-year-old, first one in the referee's notebook.
Yeah, it's great play from James McLean, raiding down that left-hand side. It's lifted everybody in the stadium.
John Egan's on a yellow, incidentally. If he gets one, he'll miss the next game. He got that on Friday night against Greece. England are leading North Macedonia by 1-0. That was a 7:45 start as well. Ukraine beat Malta also in Group C. France and Greece 0-0 also in this group, kicking off at 7:45. So Will Smallbone's going to take this free out on that left-hand side. Just a little white mark on the left-hand side, about a metre or so inside the sideline of the touchline and level with the edge of the penalty area. So there's plenty of big lads up from the back. Ferguson is lurking, so is Nathan Collins. 2 goals from his perspective for Ireland so far. He's going to go in heavy on the goalkeeper. In fact, he's going to stand right alongside him. But Gibraltar players don't seem to be that interested. They're zonal marking, just waiting for the ball to be lifted in by Smallbone now, and the keeper comes and collects, and that's easy. There was a poor cross from Smallbone. Gave nobody a chance to collect that ball. Easy for the keeper.
Yeah, well, it was only easy, John, because nobody attacking that area. The 6-yard box was in the central area. It wasn't whipped with real ferocity, but it was whipped into a decent area. Unfortunately, we had nobody arriving in there to contest it with the goalkeeper.
And Cullen lays it in field, and Ireland try and build once again on the halfway line. We're in 37th minute, remains at 0-0. So there've been possession filled half for the boys in green, but no product at the end of it. They've had a couple of chances, a couple of saves from the goalkeeper, but nothing yet to really trouble him. Can we get something in the last couple of minutes? Up towards McLean. McLean's cushions his header across the penalty area. Smallbone's going to pick it up and just divert it back to Egan. Egan places to Cullen. Cullen out to Smallbone. Knight's on one side, and then we have McGrath on the other, and here's Knight on the right hand side, trying to back the defender up into the penalty area. Little step over from Knight. Knight tries to cross the ball in. Instead goes back to Nathan Collins. He does get one into the penalty area, but it's been very easily dealt with once again by the team in white. Trying a threaded ball inside the channel there was McLean, but that went straight down the throat of one of the Gibraltar players. But Ireland will try and rebuild again with Knight on that right hand side. Smallbone wasn't quite expecting it, but he's going to keep it in play and fire it across the area, and it's whipped out of play for Ireland's 4th corner of the opening half. 4-0 in terms of corners, but 0-0 on the score sheet.
Yeah, got to do better, John. We've had a little bit of joy with that one. Wing backs dragging the Gibraltar's wide, and Will Smallbone on the right and Jamie McGrath on the left had underlap and run the little ball in behind, but invariably it's been hit to that near post, not standing enough up to the back post.
Bit of encouragement for Ireland's McLean, whips it in towards the near post. Oh, it's fizzed across everybody. I think it might actually come off the post, and that John Egan tried to play it back across the area and may have nicked the post. I'm not sure from this angle, but it certainly was a chance, but it just kept drifting him all the time away to that left-hand side, so he couldn't get proper connection on that, and remains at 0-0.
He couldn't have to keep it in play, John, didn't he? It looked as if it was beyond him, stuck out his right leg and caught it with the inside of his right foot, and kind of deflected it back inside the 6-yard box. Unfortunately, no Ireland player there, but good improvisation from him.
4 corners to 0, but still no end product. 0-0, 39 minutes gone. We'll have a half-time discussion with our panel. Keith Tracy, Pat Fenlon. Kenny will get involved in that with Marie as well at half-time, so stay with us. Smallbone Cullen, small bone again, tries to cross it, bit languid with his left foot, straight off the defender. Sargent knocked it out of play, and it's going to be a throw. Small bone takes it. Cullen has a little look up. Martin makes a little run. Ferguson is very, very deep. He's 20 yards shy of the penalty area. Needs to get up to a forward position. Here comes McLean. Can he get one into the penalty area to cause a bit of damage? No, he can't. Back to Cullen again. Tries to shoot. They won't. Cullen plays it out to the left-hand side. The 100th cap boy, James McLean, can't get past two well-organised defenders in John Sargent and Louis Ansley, and up towards the halfway line where it's going to come back straight in again. We've got 5 minutes to go plus added time. Won't be much of that. Didn't have a stoppage in this first half. It's Nathan Collins, the 22-year-old from Wolves. Again out tonight. Again the step overs. Back to Nathan Collins. Was going to measure up a cross, but he plays it inside to John Egan. Egan in his central position on his left foot, plays it out to McLean on the left-hand side. McLean has gone into the penalty area now, hits it with the right boot. It's not the greatest of contacts from McLean. In the end, he's helped out by Darragh O'Shea, who just manages to keep it in play on the left-hand side. Plays it into Cullen. Chance of a shot here from Cullen. And again, it's straight at the goalkeeper. George Cullen, the 27-year-old from Burnley, he's yet to score for Ireland. Wasn't the greatest of hits.
Yeah, just a little bit careful. There's been a couple of them, John, isn't there? Darragh O'Shea was one as well. Not totally maybe committing to the shot. Just kind of looking to get it on target, rather than maybe hit it with their laces and take the chance it could fly 20 yards over the crossbar. So again, yeah, another comfortable save for the goalkeeper.
Roy Cipollina's gone down. The 40-year-old legs aren't up to it much anymore, maybe because he's got a bit of cramp, and we're only 5 minutes towards half time. So he's doing well, isn't he?
That's a tap on your shoulder, that, John, isn't it? 5 minutes before half time, bit of cramp in the legs. It's not a good sign.
No. Plays for Lincoln Red Imps, 40 years of age, 68 caps from tonight. Scored 5 goals for his country. In fact, in that 1-0 victory, he had a header from a corner which Darren Randolph saved in Gibraltar. Remember that? Could have been 1-1.
Yeah.
Very good save, close in, a smashing header too. He's back on his feet, and Gibraltar, who've been working really hard in defence, going to bring him off, are they? Cipollina's coming off, I think. Yeah.
Oh, they'll be really pleased. Manager in particular, how disciplined and concentrated his team have been. Even when we hadn't managed to get into those wide areas and put delivery into the box, they've kind of dealt with most things, got their head on it, blocked that near post area, defended the penalty box really well, John. I'll be a little bit critical in terms of maybe some of our partners and the quality of our attacking play as well, but
Cipollina doesn't want to come off. He's going to have to. That's his day done, the captain. And number 16 is coming on. Ayman Maloui, the 36-year-old, earning his 29th cap, plays his club football for St. Joseph's.
It must be more than a bit of cramp, John. A bit of cramp, you'd kind of, you soldier on till half time. Might be more of a tweak maybe in the hamstring or the calf. If he's come off so close to half time.
So Mueli on, and we've got 3 minutes to go to half time. It's all gone very quiet here, just the murmur of the crowd that we can hear as Coling clears it. 4 saves for him tonight, nothing for Bazunu. Ireland with all the possession. Gibraltar seem to be enjoying themselves out in this defensive display. Now, can we crack them before half time? Here's McLean on the left hand side. Moves his way infield and plays it down the line to Jamie McGrath. McGrath tries to go to the byline. He's held up there. Back towards McLean, who too gets to the byline, but it's easily dealt with. That wasn't the greatest of crosses either. They really are defending extremely well, this bank of 5 across the back, and just allowing the one man up in El Hamidi. Hamidi plays it back to Jay Solivero. And again, it's just played down the line, but it should be easy as it's just diverted over the head of John O'Shea, and he's got to let it roll back to Bazunu. So a minute and a half to half time. Impressions, Kenny?
Yeah, pretty much as I said before. Yeah, plenty of possession, but really only because Gibraltar have given it to us. But when it really matters in the last third of the pitch, quality of our football just hasn't been good enough. I'm a big fan of playing with the front two, but we just can't get them into the game enough. That's not just the fault of the players in possession. I think our front two could do better to receive exactly what Michael Obafemi's done there. Haven't seen enough of that in this first half.
Well, shot. Oh, lovely save that is. The edge of the area from Jamie McGrath. Better set up play from the front two, as you mentioned. Back towards McGrath, and that forces the first proper save, and that comes in the 44th minute on the 5th corner.
You're right, John. It's taken 4 minutes for one of the players to punch the ball into the feet of Michael Obafemi, pin the centre half, link up with the other centre forward, Evan Ferguson, ends up with a shot on target.
That's encouraging for the goalkeeper. Here's McLean, though, dumps it in on top of him, and he gets a fist to it, pushes it out of the danger zone. Didn't decide to catch it. It was the right thing for that goalkeeper. Down on the left-hand side, just to make sure it got out of the danger zone. We've got a couple of seconds to go to half-time. Smallbone and Ferguson between them wrestle the ball back for Ireland, try to make their way in the left-hand side towards the penalty area. Gibraltar struggling to keep the ball in play. There's only seconds left. Just keeping an eye on the fourth official down below as he doesn't seem to have a board in his hand to indicate there's going to be any extra time. So there's only seconds left in this opening 45. Remains at 0-0. Have a look at the fourth official down below us again from Romania. I think it's just 1 minute. He's going to put that board up now. 3 minutes, in fact. I wonder where you get the 3 minutes from. Anyway, we don't mind. Extra couple of minutes to try and get something before half-time. Out to Knight on that right-hand side. Inside to Nathan Collins. And Knight, Smallbone makes a run, but he's being ignored. Back to Collins again, and now Smallbone has it on that right-hand side. Plays it inside to Michael Obafemi. Cullen tries to chip it forward. One or two players indicating that they thought it was a handball from one of the Gibraltar players, but that's not going to be given, and it bounces away off Smallbone, and it's going to be a disappointing throw from Ireland's point of view on that far side level with their edge of their own penalty area. 0-0.
Yeah, just in a replay of that shot from Jamie McGrath, that kind of hold-up play from Evan Ferguson on the edge of the box when he gets it into his feet, John, almost impossible to get the ball off and be so strong. I'd like to see a bit more of that from him. Stay away from the ball, pin his man, and encourage those Irish players just to fizz it into his feet as close to that penalty box as you can, because you know it's going to stick, and then that's the trigger for other players to go and get themselves involved off that. Indication
from the crowd at half-time will be telling. If it's booing, well, we'll know what they think of it. Anyway, it still remains at 0-0. They want to get behind their side, but entitled to your opinion if you pay your money. Here's Nathan Collins. Knight outside of him. 3 minutes of added time. Michael Obafemi. Knight into Cullen. Cullen, Smallbone on the edge of the penalty area. Ferguson comes deep to collect. Plays a reverse ball inside to old Smallbone, but he manages to mess it up between the two of them and then give it straight down the pitch to El Hamidi. Hamidi's going to hold this ball up now and try and get himself around John Egan, but he's too strong for that. Egan's being pulled there. The referee's going to give the free kick, and Egan's actually upended as well, and the referee's going to have a word with the lone striker, and he puts a little thumbs up. He won't be too disappointed by that. 3 minutes almost up. Here's Michael Obafemi out on that right-hand side, inside to O'Shea, and here's O'Shea, I should say, in the centre position. Got the ball from Egan. Outside, left-hand side. It's McLean. McLean holds the ball to Josh Cullen. Cullen looking for options, finding none. Plays it to Nathan Collins. Again, down to John Egan, who's joined the attack. And now Knight on that right-hand side. McLean's lurking at the back post. Into Michael Obafemi, into Smallbone. Good defending, though. Spotted that. Bernardo Lopez, the 29-year-old, played underage football in Portugal, and Michael Obafemi goes down off the pitch. Ireland have a throw though, and he's back on it now, so they're back to the full complement of 11 players and gets the throw. Takes it from Knight into Smallbone. Knight again into Cullen. Little room for Cullen to work his way into the penalty area, try to just deke one inside towards Jamie McGrath, but the goalkeeper has all day, Dale Coling, to just drop on the ball and then bring it towards the edge of the penalty area. 3 minutes almost up. In fact, there it is. Half time. Well, one or two boos around the ground. You can hear it for the performance from the Republic of Ireland. But at half time, it's not great. It remains Republic of Ireland 0, Gibraltar 0.
Thanks, John and Kenny. Keith Tracy and Pat Flenlon are with me here watching that first half. Keith, in many ways it just feels like, okay, that's one half down.
Yeah, but we haven't made a dent in the Gibraltar goals yet. We started really well. I heard Stephen Kenny talking before the game. He's talking about earning the right to play. We started well. We put the ball into the box. Jamie McGrath gets a really good strike on the ball in the penalty spot. If that hits the back of the net, maybe there's a really different feel to this. But for me, we're still trying to force it through the middle. Gibraltar look really comfortable when we're putting balls into the box. we look like something might be able to happen for us, but we've only put the ball into Evan Ferguson's feet once. It looks dangerous once we've done that. But by and large, I think the Gibraltar players will be really, really happy. I think the Gibraltar manager will be over the moon, and their legs coming out for the second half will be really, really energised.
Yeah, they had a little huddle there before they went in for the break, and the coach was giving them a good pep talk. You could see that they were happy with what they've done, which was actually brilliant defending. But for Ireland, I mean, when we talked earlier, Pat, we were hoping for an early goal. We went through 48 minutes there, a few chances, but didn't really look like, bar maybe that Jamie McGrath chance, that they were going to hit the target.
Yeah, I think any of the chances we had have probably been from distance. That shot from Jamie McGrath earlier on, one from Ferguson, one from Collins, James McLean coming off the line on a header. Probably our best performer on the night, I think, has been Jason Knight down that right hand side. We need to feed him a little bit more. The only thing he is just pick out the pass a little bit, or he's getting it. What they've done really well is they've defended that near post area, their 6-yard box on both sides. They've given the ball away very cheaply. They're a very, very average team, but you can see that they know that to a point that they have to really defend. They concentrate in that areas, and they make it very difficult. When we get into good areas, you got to try negate that near post areas. I'd agree with Kenny's point as well. I'd just like to see one of the strikers stand still for a few minutes. Just stand still and be a platform for us to play quickly, play into them and get runners off them. Again, we haven't got, if you're getting into them wide areas with two strikers, it's fine getting in the box, get the balls into the box. You should have your two strikers in there, but also try to get one of our midfielders. Jamie McGrath's movement's been okay, but sometimes he's probably crowding it a little bit much on the centre forwards. Small Bone hasn't really been in the game, but the way in for me is about wing backs tonight. It's just taking care of that pass. But again, the tempo of the game has been poor. We haven't played with a real tempo. Now, like you say, they had a minute on the pitch at half time, just at half time there when the whistle went. They were fairly buoyant coming off then, you know, so they'll just be saying more of the same, lads. They'll know the crowd is going to turn at some stage on us if we don't score. But again, the tempo has to be better for me. Move the ball quicker, and it shows us, it highlights us where we're short in that midfield area tonight. That creativity, we don't have it.
And just a moment or two of concern there towards the end of that half, Keith. We saw Evan Ferguson holding on to what looked like his hamstring. He was a bit tentative there, and hopefully he'll come out in the second half, because if he doesn't, I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah, well, it did look like he gets the ball rolled into him. It looks like the centre half is right up his backside. Maybe he just gets a knee into the hamstring. It just looked like a sore one. He ran off a couple of seconds later, so you don't generally do that if you felt your hamstring. So hopefully it was just an impact and he'll be able to play on. But for me, I would echo what Pat is saying. I think if we can get the ball wide, we've been passing it around Gibraltar once or twice. We've managed to get through them with, you know, not much reward. But if we can get the ball into wide areas and tell our wide players to go and commit their players, go and run at them, run past them, because if you break that first line of their defence, somebody else is inevitably going to have to come over and get in your face, and that's when you start picking the pockets. So I'd be very I'd love to see a winger coming on, an out and out winger coming on, and being told every time you get it, go and commit bodies and we'll play from there.
But Pat, it seems like that's not the instruction to go with the ball. It seems to be that what Stephen Kenny wants them to do is try and pass it around. So they've had the opportunities to take players on, but they're just not taking them. Yeah,
and I think, like I said, I think Jason Knight and McLean to a point have got into good areas and half decent balls into the box. I think it's too slow in that midfield area. Like I say, it's easy to pass as a defender, or even midfielders, when you get back into that shape of five they have, and you're happy enough to see the ball in front of you and be moved around in front of you. That's fine. It's the one down the side you don't want, or that one where it goes wide and you can't get pressure on the ball out wide and the balls are coming into the box. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we're giving up. We're turning our nose up to putting the cross. Put it into the box. Get runners in there. We got two strikers. Get our two midfielders in McGrath and Smallman to attack them areas as well, and just pepper the box with crosses, because at the moment there's no way through. We can't play through because there is no space. In fairness, they've defended quite well. But if you keep putting balls into the box with the likes of Femi and Ferguson particularly, he'll get on the end of them. We just need to trust ourselves a little bit more. Half a yard, deliver the cross in, and maybe the change, maybe Keithers maybe need a natural. McLean is a natural winger on this side. Knight is not a natural winger on the right, but he's been our best way in at the moment.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Pat. I think it's right, but I think Gibraltar have defended well. But if we move the ball 1 and 2 touch and start trying to play around the corner, nice, neat, invent the passing, then we can't break these down. I think like you're saying is right. We haven't moved the ball quick enough. If we start moving the ball quick enough, we will find holes in this Gibraltar defence. But at the minute, it's been too easy for them. I know we've had 1 or 2 half chances from balls into the box, but Gibraltar coming here will be happy to concede the wide areas and say, look, if Ireland score from a corner, fair enough. But you've seen it's been meat and drink from them so far. They're happy to defend
the
the
other
box.
thing is maybe we don't need 3 centre-halves, because we've been left 2v1 for the whole game, and they're comfortable. The centre-forward doesn't look like he can run. In fairness to him, he's working very hard on his own. He's detached. His teammates are 60, 70 yards away most of the time. Maybe he can play with another, because Nathan Collins had a lot of the ball. He's probably had more of the ball than anybody in the game.
And in Greece, he did get a few shots.
And in fairness to him, he does do that, and he'll put the ball into the box as well, so maybe that could be another tactical change. Where can we get another attacking midfielder on? Don't want him to be in there too early, but just to move the ball a bit quicker as well. But again, they will tire as well. So the patience, we all want an early goal. That's what we wanted, to try to keep the crowd on side. Crowd haven't turned yet completely, I don't think.
Boos there.
Yeah, a few boos, but
not too bad.
You can't blame us. That was only me and Keith.
It just feels a bit pedestrian, I guess, and it's trying to find that little bit of a spark to get people out of their seats and to get excited about. But at the pace and the tempo that it's been played at, that's just not happening. But look, hopefully it'll happen in the second half. We're going to take a quick break. We'll have more analysis to come, plus at the second half of the Republic of Ireland versus Gibraltar.
RTE
2FM. You could skydive out of a plane or swim with sharks. You might even skinny dip in icy cold waters. Or you could get that inexpressible high, that guaranteed rush from finding just the thing you wanted, the thing you needed, at a great sale price. IKEA Summer Sale now on. Extra 10% off sale for IKEA family members. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Keep discovering this summer at Hudson Bay and Sheraton at Lone Hotels. Visit 145 acres of meadowland, forest and lakeshore trails at Hudson Bay's U Point Estate. Step back in time at Athlone Castle or cruise down the Shannon on the famous Viking boat. There's so much to see and do in Athlone this summer. Discover more on hudsonbayhotel.com and SheratonAtloneHotel.com.
RTE
2FM.
The National Brown Bread Baking Competition, sponsored by Aldi in conjunction with the NPA and ICA, is back. This year's winner will pocket €15,000 and get to sell their prize loaf in Aldi stores for a whole year. The champion will be announced at the National Ploughing Championships in Ratheniska, County Laois. Visit aldi.ie/brown-bread-competition for details. Not trying to butter you up, but we know you can do it. Aldi, everyday amazing.
2FM Breakfast
With Kieran, Donica and Carl.
We thought a trip to space would be okay, but it may need a bit more.
You can't just say, go up there, have a look, and then you're waitlist for a few minutes. It needs more.
What? Yeah, you need to be able to meet the characters of Space Jam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kieran's on it now.
What, you need more? Like, what you need?
Go up and meet the characters of Space Jam. Or go up and sing the Bear in the Big Blue House tune while looking at the moon.
Yes.
RTE
2FM.
We're back tomorrow from 6.
2FM Breakfast.
Sponsored by McDonald's. Made with quality Irish rashers and free-range Irish eggs. What could be better than a McDonald's bacon and egg McMuffin? Available every day until 11 a.m.
Game on.
Football.
Welcome back to the Aviva Stadium. It is half time in the Republic of Ireland Gibraltar game, and it is scoreless. I'm with Keith Tracy and Pat Fenlon. We haven't had the best first half, but we have high hopes for the second half. Keith Tracy, you've been studying what's happening in the sidelines. Some Ireland players out there getting warmed up. Can you predict any changes for us?
Yeah, well, I had my eagle eye out here, and I think Mikey Johnson's just been sent back in to get his jersey and his shin guards on. So it looks like I'll get me prayers answered, and Stephen Kenny is going to go out with an out-and-out winger. So Mikey Johnson definitely has it in his armoury to be able to just goes past people. If he can do that, that could unlock this Gibraltar defence for us.
Yeah, look, maybe just one player coming on, raising the tempo, a bit of a pep talk from Stephen Kenny. Even though the boos were quite low, they were still there. The players would have sensed them. They'll have known that they aren't happy. The fallout from Friday night against Greece, the pressure that Stephen Kenny is under as well. You'd have to think, Pat, that they're going to come out now in the second half and give us some sort of a performance.
Yeah, listen, the frustration is there. We know that from the supporters. We're frustrated as well. I think on the back of the French performance as well probably makes us more frustrated, because we played quite well on the night. Mikey Johnson come on. If Keith is right, he comes on. What he will do, he will be really direct and get at people, and that means he'll attract defenders to him as well to get over and give a little bit of cover. That might open up spaces in the box as well. And you'd expect him, if he comes on, is he going that right hand side? Does Knight come off? I think Knight's done quite well, to be fair to him. So he might move Knight inside and maybe Smallbone might make way, I'm not sure, but it'll be interesting to see what the substitution is. But it needs a lift, it needs a spark, it needs something to happen early in the second half just to get everybody going again.
It's half-time in the France-Greece game as well, and it is scoreless there. So we're looking at that going, okay, that's not bad. I wonder what they're thinking when they're looking at the half-time score between the Republic of Ireland and Gibraltar. Because we predicted some early goals. We were hoping for some early goals in that first half. There were some chances. Arguably, they found it difficult enough to create them because of the way that this Gibraltar team were setting up. We can expect Gibraltar to set up really in the same way, just given how much they were able to gain from or prevent really from being in the shape that they're in. But do you think that we're going to be able to find someone to hit the target?
I hope so. We definitely have the likes of Evan Ferguson up there, all the ability in the world, but we just need to get some service to him. And it's like we said, at times Gibraltar, they're retreating into a low block. They're happy to let us have the ball up to a certain point. And we just haven't been inventive enough to break them down. So we need 1 and 2 touches. We need to keep the tempo high. You see when the ball goes out of play, some of their players are going down. They're trying to kill the clock. They're trying to get the fans, disinterested in the game. And that has happened to a large degree. So every time the ball goes out of play now, I want to see an Irish player run, get it, get their hand on it, get the ball moving straight away. Because the quicker we move the ball, it means Gibraltar have to move quicker. So their legs will tire quicker, and inevitably the hole should start to appear. And that's when hopefully our little bit of talent, our little bit of class can shine through, and we can hit the back of that Gibraltar net.
It's an opportunity for players as well, Pat. When you're looking at Jamie McGrath there getting his chance and being out there, and I'm sure how desperate he would have wanted to, and Will Smallbone as well, to make up for what happened on Friday night. But that midfield, and we talk about the balance and how difficult it is, but at the same time they're playing Gibraltar.
Yeah, it is, and that's the tempo of the game. The midfield, to be fair, have dominated the ball, but they just haven't moved it quick enough because they've dropped off us and let us have the ball. It's like I said, it's too easy to play in front of them. They're happy for us to pass the ball around in front as well. And again, it's if it's going to be into the wide areas, I'd like to see us get into the box a little bit more from them midfielders. It's all right building the play up, but I'd like to see Jamie McGrath and Smallbone. That's why they're in the team, is to have a licence to go and see and get us a couple of goals. In fairness to Jamie McGrath's movement's been okay. He's had a couple of shots. I think he's done all right, as McLean has done all right in the left and Knight on the right hand side. But we just need a little bit. The other thing that might be the change might be, he said earlier on that Ferguson looked like he might have hurt his hands. That could be one as well. If he has done any damage, that he might come off. You're hoping not that we're leaving the 2 on. Get Mikey Johnson wide and get him direct. Got to feed him the ball. There's no point in having him getting the ball, get out to him nice and quick and let him be direct. And like I said, he will attract people to him. If he goes to skips past the wing back a couple of times, that'll shift the centre halves out a little bit more, and that's when the space opens up. Hey, sometimes as well, you've got to be patient in these games as well. Play with a bigger tempo, but be patient as well. You can't let the crowd get you at times, but it needs a spark, doesn't it? You can feel it around the place that it's just flat. It's like a bit of a friendly, an international friendly. Just needs a spark. It's a qualifier. We need to win.
Patience. We were hoping there'd be an early goal.
Like I said, Jamie McGrath came really, really close, and within the first 50 seconds of the game it comes in, and if that hits the back of the net, there's a totally different feel to this. But the players just need to keep calm. There is this air of, we're all a little bit worried, but just keep it calm, keep them moving, keep the tempo high. And look, history tells us, the stats tell us with Gibraltar, they will make a mistake, they will give us something. But just on the face of it, if it is Evan Ferguson to play up top, Obafemi off the right and Mikey Johnson off the left, I really like the sound of that three going into the second half. A lot of pace, a lot of power, and obviously Evan Ferguson can hit the back of the net if he gets some service.
Is Obafemi doing enough, Pat?
Not for me, he hasn't done enough. I'd just like to see he's drifting away from that area. I'd like to see him be a little bit more of a link man. I think when you step into the play and you look, particularly Collins has had a good few times on that right hand side. He stepped in, looked up, and he's had to come back out and go sideways. He hadn't been able to rattle one in to Obafemi's feet, getting into him and then get players off him. So I'd just like to see him play a little bit more central, closer to Ferguson that time.
Okay, very quickly before we hand back to commentary, how many goals are they going to get, Keith?
I'm not too sure, Marie. I'd say 1-0 to Ireland now at this stage.
Pat?
I'm going to stick to me 2 or 3.
Okay, let's rejoin Kenny and John now for the second half.
Thanks very much, Marie. Substitution for Republic of Ireland, Nathan Collins has gone off, and Mikey Johnson, who was actually quite good against Greece on Friday, he's on in his stead. And they've also made a change. Our visitor Scott Wiseman is on, wearing number 6. He's going into the heart of the defence. In fact, they made 2 substitutions. TJ DeBar is also on as well. So 16, number 6, Scott Wiseman. We've also got Malui on as well, the 36-year-old, and TJ DeBar. But they've taken Nathan Collins off and put on Mikey Johnston. What you thinking?
I wonder if that's an injury. I like the fact it looks as if we've gone to a back four and with two wingers and the front two. Now Keith spoke about maybe a narrow three for the start of the second half, but for me I like us to keep that front two intact and get a bit more natural width into the team. Smallbone down the right, Mikey Johnson down the left hand side, and a bit of combination play between the wide men then and the fullbacks in the wide areas. Generally speaking, that's always has been our best way into the opposition last third of the pitch. So yeah, let's hope for better and more chances in the second half.
Mikey Johnston plays, well, he's on the books of Celtic. He plays for Vitória Guimarães in Portugal. He's on for his third cap. Ireland have an injury problem though in their own half of the field, because Gibraltar forced a corner where we were chatting away there of TJ DeBar, who's the substitute. And we've an Irish player down, injured in the penalty area.
That could be one of those delicate injuries, John, that you sustain when blocking crosses into the box.
Josh Cullen, he's up on his feet though. This is the first corner from Gibraltar, comes in the first minute of the second half, and this is going to be dangerous from a dead ball situation. Ireland certainly do not want to concede. It's 0-0. Decent ball across the area, but eventually inside the 6-yard box, Michael Obafemi tries to come away with it, but good strong challenge from TJ DeBar, and it's gone out of play, and it's going to be a throw to Ireland midway inside their own half of the field. Dead ball situations for the visitors is where they'll hope to profit, wouldn't they?
Yeah, well, hopefully they shouldn't get too many opportunities to put too many more corner kicks or even free kicks into our penalty box, John. Hopefully they're getting penned back for the majority of this second half. This is what I'm talking about. James McLean in possession, Mikey Johnson on his outside. Opportunities now for little combinations down the side.
Mikey Johnson's good at running at players, and that's exactly what he does. Lays the ball back to Cullen, dips it towards the back post. What you can see what he's trying to bend it round. Little delicate cross. He hasn't scored for Ireland yet. Next to West Ham, Anderlecht and Burnley. But that was good from Johnson and also McLean in combination. That could be a decent combo to try and break and unlock this stubborn defence.
The good thing about Mikey Johnson in those situations, John, he keeps the ball and he draws players towards him. He's good enough to get his head up and pop the ball back to the player in space, which was Josh Cullen on this occasion. Not too sure, John, that was a shot, to be honest with you. I think he might have been calling that to the back post and kind of got it all wrong. But yeah, promising first touch for Mikey Johnson.
Plenty of strong, hard music at half-time. Metallica blasting over the Tannoy system just to greet the players back onto the pitch. Here's Cullen out to Johnston. Johnston just drags the ball back and eventually tries to get a cross in, but he's upended. Referee sees nothing wrong with that, despite the fact that the crowd are looking for a free kick on that far side. So there's one change. Johnston has come on for Nathan Collins, probably an injury, because he's played in every single game. Our last 11 games, he's played all 90 minutes, so he's gone off. Johnston is playing on that left-hand side now. And Darragh O'Shea does really well down in his own half of the field to lay the ball inside to Jamie McGrath, just on the edge of their penalty area. And Ireland now pushing forward, had so much possession in the first half. A couple of shots which Dale Coling in the Gibraltar goal had to save, but the best save was a one-handed fist over the bar from a shot from Jamie McGrath, who should have scored in the opening minute. Here's Mikey Johnson breaking forward like him too. Love the way he runs at players. Johnson just fires one over and it comes as a corner, and this is what we need to see. I'm no expert in this one at this kind of level by any stretch of the imagination, but Irish fans like to see players like Johnston running at defenders.
Yeah, not just that lovely link-up play, one-touch play, wasn't it? Combination play between him, Smallbone and Obafemi before getting the cross off. You're right, John, the shot off, excuse me.
It's got a Smallbone to take it. It's going to swing it out. It's high, it's hanging, and it's two players getting in each other's way there, and two defenders too. Nobody screamed at each other between John Egan and Darragh O'Shea. Egan was the last one to get his head to it, but all he could do is divert it over the crossbar.
Yeah, you're right, John, that's what it was. It looked as if Darragh O'Shea was in the best position to go and head that. John Egan didn't realise that and actually ended up heading Darragh O'Shea, maybe just getting in his way. It was a shame, because that was a great chance. He had been given an early shout and got out of his way.
Well, I mentioned it's full of anniversaries here tonight. 50 caps for one of the Gibraltar players, Jace Oliveira, 100 caps, we mentioned already, for James McLean. 600th game for the Republic of Ireland internationals. We gave it the 100th, that was against Belgium. The 200th game for Ireland, a 1-0 win in Malta on March 30th, 1983. Michael Obafemi tries the shot. It's charged down by Brito. He won't keep it in play. In fact, he just unceremoniously dumps it out of play. Now he's off the field. Knight takes the throw, plays at the small bone into his central position. This is Ferguson on the edge of the penalty area, turns the right way. It tries to clip it inside. They're going to get a handball here, right on the edge of the penalty area, and the referee might give a yellow card to one of the players in white. Is he? No, he's not saying it's deliberate, but it's definitely a handball. 51 minutes on the clock, remains at 0-0, but a free kick in a dangerous place in a very central position.
Yeah, it's clever play from Evan Ferguson, surrounded by players, just dinked it in between a couple of Gibraltar players towards Jamie McGrath. It was Lopez, the defender, knew he was in a little bit of trouble there. Johnny did extend his left arm. There was a free kick, and you're absolutely right. It's in a great position. Although I'd say great position, John, is very central, only kind of a yard or two outside the penalty box. So difficult to get this one up and down, really. It's more about maybe just putting your laces through it and just hammering it. Probably keeper side. Like I said, probably too close to get it up and down over the wall. So maybe a little bit of disguise. Hopefully the keeper takes that one big step towards his back post. That opens up a little bit of space to smash it inside the near side. Not too many more options apart from that.
Yeah, Smallbone, Ferguson is there as well, making a nuisance of himself from the edge of the area. McLean might want to take this, but no. Smallbone and Mikey Johnston standing over this ball. Combination of left or right. Josh Cullen trying to direct things. They push the men in white right back to the edge of the 6-yard box, about a metre so shy of it. Nobody lying down behind the wall, so they might go under it. So what can Coling and Smallbone do here? Smallbone hasn't scored yet for Ireland, but he's only played 2 games. Looks like he's going to take it. Will Smallbone takes it. Wall does his job. Johnston tops it to the back of the net, and Ireland score. And Johnson gets his first goal, and Ireland finally breach the defence in the 53rd minute. Ireland opened their account against Gibraltar. It's been a while in coming, a little fortuitous, but it doesn't matter. It's Ireland 1, Gibraltar 0.
Oh, we'll celebrate any type of goal, John. Scruffy or not, that's exactly what it was. Will Smallbone tried to actually do the hardest bit of skill and put it over the wall. It was never going to happen. All he succeeded in doing was smashing it into the wall. And then it was all about the rebound, where it was going to land. It was a double deflection off a couple of Gibraltar players. Give Mikey Johnson a little bit of credit. He's on the move, John. He's anticipating. He's gambling. It's a simple finish. Goalkeeper's on his backside. It's an open goal 3 yards out. Nobody's going to miss that. Perfect start.
Probably the first player from Victoria Guimarães to score for Ireland. He's on the books of Celtic, but he's playing in Portugal at a top level. It's a good league, and they've now, through Johnston, give themselves a lead, which they can hopefully now build on. In the 53rd minute, it's Republic of Ireland 1, Gibraltar 0, and we've finally broken through. It was from a dead ball situation once again, so nothing from open play, but Johnston was there as the keeper dived to make the save he thought from Smallbone. He just tapped it to an empty net, really. And Michael Obafemi has it on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Plays it back to Josh Cullen. You're going to hear these cries of shoot all game. Out to Knight on the right-hand side. Back to Smallbone again. He hasn't got anybody to aim at in the penalty area. In fact, when he tries to play it in short, it was so predictable. It was easy clearance.
Obafemi has to present himself there, John, to receive the ball. He's not even looking for it. Has to do better with his back to goal. Michael Obafemi has to understand where he needs to be at certain moments in the game when we're in possession like this. He's limping at the moment, John. I think he's struggling. He might be on the pitch too much longer, but that's about understanding your role as a centre forward. Not all about running into the space and behind. You have to be able to play with your back to goal as well.
Johnson lays an intelligent ball out to McLean on the left-hand side. Back to Johnson inside the penalty area. Johnson shoots. There's 2 defenders in front of him. It's going to ricochet away to Jamie McGrath, but at least he was prepared to have a pop. Ireland leading by a goal to 0. France against Greece was 0-0 when last we heard of it. Have a look at it and see if there's any change in that scoreline. Soon Michael Johnson lays it off again. This is better from Ireland. Ferguson, miscommunication between himself and Smallbone. He thought he was coming up on his right shoulder. It didn't happen. Ferguson, Obafemi. It's poor from Obafemi out towards Smallbone, but it's too predictable, and it's easy for the team in white just to bring it out. And nicely done by TJ DeBar, the substitute, but he loses possession eventually, and Ireland can try and build again. At the ball inside the Gibraltar half of the field, leading by a 1-0. So I think the relief is palpable around the Aviva Stadium. A big sigh of relief, and a few from the Irish supporters. Johnston out to McLean, outside of the boot, flings it across the area. Nobody in particular. Easy for Coling.
Yeah, but it has been better, John. Tempo's been a little bit better. Obviously the change in shape, the personnel, Mikey Johnson in particular has been prominent. Probably is looking more like a 4-3-3 now. Keith mentioned at half time, difficult to tell at times, but Obafemi seems to be hugging the right hand side a little bit more. Will Smallbone's kind of really narrowed up on that right hand side, opening the channel up for Jason Knight to get forward at every opportunity. But it's Mikey Johnson coming off the flank and dropping into those little pockets and receiving the ball, which has really helped us in this second half. Not just receiving the ball, John, but getting on the half turn, looking to link up and play little combinations, one touch play. Didn't see too much of that in the first half, so that's better.
Here's Knight on the right hand side. France have opened their account against Greece. Kylian Mbappe scored again, penalty. That came in the 56th minute, so the runaway leaders looking for 4 wins out of 4. There are 1 up against Greece. Battle really on for that third place. I'm disappointed to lose to Greece though. And France and the Dutch for Ireland when we resume in September. Here's Cullen, Smallbone, central position, out to Knight. Once again this familiar position of Knight. Steps over the ball, plays it into the area. It's going to fall for Cullen. He lays it off. He should have had a shot. Here's McLean. Can he get something on his 100th appearance left-footed? No, he drags a shot wide. I thought Cullen might have had a pop, but he was trying to be a little bit unselfish and plays to today's captain, who he missed.
Yeah, it was a great play again from Jason. I thought he could have been across an early one touch and then deliver it. Didn't, drove at his man, dinked it to the back post. Felt Ireland could commit 1 or 2 more players towards that back post area. Eventually fell to James McLean, no problem taking the shot on there. Actually dragged it across the 6-yard box, John. Could have been dangerous if any Irish player was on the move there. Could have got themselves a tap in at the back post.
Troy Parrott on as a sub, came on as a sub the other night. He's got a new hairstyle as well. He's on the book of Spurs. He's off on loan these days. 19 senior caps, 4 goals. I'd see another one here. Made his debut against Bulgaria in a friendly in November of 2019. Second substitute for Ireland, Mikey Johnson on at half time. He's got the goal after 53. Troy Parrott is on. We're in the 58 minutes. Ireland 1, Gibraltar 0. England are leading North Macedonia 5-0 in Group C. That's the way to do it. Armenia, big surprise team in Group D, have beaten Latvia 2-1. Turkey and Wales is 0-0. Northern Ireland 0-0 against Kazakhstan. That's in Group H of that particular group as Ireland break forward. Knight inside, nearly hits our Romanian referee, but it in the turn goes out to Johnston. Johnson on that left hand side, jinks his way in. Cullen, there's a new outlet for Cullen as well, which is good to see. And Jamie McGrath goes to ground, played into the area, punched away by the goalkeeper, does well, gets it outside the danger zone, and it's mopped up by O'Shea, Dara O'Shea on the edge of the penalty area. First touch for Troy Parrott, the substitute, on the right-hand side. We're coming up to the hour mark, and Ireland leading by 1-0 here on Game On 2FM. And here is a ball inside to Evan Ferguson. Did well. Fortunately, couldn't push the ball forward, but he just broken the offside trap there for a second. Back to Cullen. Cullen into a central position. Johnston likes to shoot, but he doesn't mind laying it off as well. Out to McLean, dinks it into the penalty area. Ferguson, 2-0. He's a goal machine these days. That's more like it. James McLean would celebrate that. So does Stephen Kenny. He applauds. Big broad smile. 59 minutes in. A header across goal. Coley could do nothing about that. And Ireland finally put this game to bed.
Yeah, it can be a simple game at times, John. Get the ball into wide areas. Good quality delivery into the box. Didn't quite see enough of that in the first half. A lot of crosses to that near post area that got blocked. That was kind of reference to half time in studio, but this was better. Mikey Johnson just feeding the ball to James McLean. One touch to steady himself and just put it into a good area. You don't have to be looking for a green jersey, John. Just deliver it into a good area, centre the 6-yard box, and just invite one of your forward players to go and attack it. That's exactly what Evan Ferguson did. The bullet of a header inside the near post, no chance for the goalkeeper. That's, for me, it's Ireland at its best, getting the ball into wide areas, good quality delivery into the box, committing players into the box.
And a goal from open play too, which is great. We don't get many of them, so we can celebrate that one too. It's the second goal for his country, Ferguson. They're anxious to get more here now as Gibraltar, who are playing to the Havelock Square end of the second half, incidentally, and they're all white. Anxious to get the ball away from the danger area now because they're trailing by 2-0, and Ireland, after huffing and puffing in the first half, and the introducing of Mikey Johnson, I think, has just made a big effect because Cullen now has more outlets to play the ball too. Plays up to Knight and Smallbone. Knight goes on the overlapping run on the right hand side. Tried to play down the channel towards Parrott. Parrott's been alright since the game on as well. Plenty of movement from him too. Back towards their captain, who just hooks it clear unceremoniously. That's Roy Cipollina, the 40-year-old. In fact, he's gone off the field of play. There's a new man with the armband on. My apologies. That's Jace Olivero, and he's getting the armband tonight because it's his 50th cap. Here's Knight on the right-hand side, inside to Troy Parrott. Now, it's great noise from the Aviva Stadium now. People are standing around us now. There was a bit of booing at half-time as Johnson plays it outside to Knight. Knight into the penalty area, headed clear. Brito gets ahead to it. It's not a great one. Smallbone straight back in again. Knight on the right-hand side. Smallbone inside. Cullen inside of him. Midway inside the Gibraltar half of the field out to Evan Ferguson. The goal scorer. Second goal scorer to add to Mikey Johnson's goal in the 53rd minute. Here's McGrath out to the captain for tonight, James McLean. Back to Ferguson. Pretty deep, Ferguson. Dinks it across the area. There was a diving Jason Knight cutting in from the right-hand side, oohs and ahs from the supporters, but it just skips away and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, would like to see more Irish players arriving there. The problem with Evan Ferguson dropping that deep, of course, he vacates that central striking position. Somebody's got to recognise that, probably Troy Parrott, and go and make that run into that central area. Jason Knight did, but he's coming from a kind of right wing back position there and arriving late, just couldn't quite make up the ground. But yeah, you're right, John. It's got a reaction from the crowd, all right. It's energised them. Hopefully the players will respond to that as well.
Let's get a few more here. Let's just finish this game off. I mentioned that 200th game for Ireland because it's our 600 international tonight as the Republic of Ireland. The 300 international 2-1 loss to Mexico in the World Cup in Orlando on June the 24th, 1994. But that goal for Ireland was John Aldridge's goal. It was crucial. It meant Ireland got into the last 16 on goals scored. We'll go through the rest of them, the 400 and 500th before the end of the match, hopefully. 63 minutes. McLean on the left-hand side does a little skip over, but can't force it across, and it's gone out for a goal kick. And, in the end, it just forced out a play by Scott Wiseman, that ball, and it's going to be a goal kick for Gibraltar. Got other substitutes tonight. Might be looking at maybe Mark Sykes might come on for McLean down that right-hand side, the guy for Bristol City, although I don't think the man with 100 caps will want to be coming off. Callum O'Dowd, I probably won't get a game tonight because he wasn't great the other night. Alan Brown, Adam Ida, Jeff Hendrick, Jason Malumbi, Darrell Lanahan and Liam Scales has been retained after not making the 23 on Friday night. Here's Jason Cullen in the central position towards Troy Parris. Came too fast at him and he just couldn't collect it. And eventually Smallbone prevents the ball going upfield and it's gone out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I don't really think we want to see too many such games over, John. We know that, but certainly don't want to be seeing too many substitutions now. I mean, we're still searching for our starting 11 at the moment in terms of kind of a happy balance in the team.
I'll start Mikey Johnson anytime.
Well, there you go. Well, there you go. Yeah, but even the players around him, having a look at him and James McLean and those kind of wide areas.
McLean seems to be enjoying playing with Johnson out in that left-hand side.
I think any full-back enjoys playing with a kind of somebody in contact 10, 15 yards higher up the pitch. You can lend the ball so you can get a little 1-2 with it. You know, you can trust them with the ball and get yourself in a higher position and receive the ball back. I think any full-back would enjoy that.
Cullen shoots, bounce off an Irish player towards Troy Parry. He's claiming a corner. Is he going to get one? No, he's not. It's going to be a goal kick. He's claiming to our Romanian referee, Marian Barbu, that should have been a corner, but he's not going to get it.
Yeah, we have to have a look at Troy Parry in terms of his central striking partner for Evan Ferguson. These games, September coming up, John. Obviously, Adam Ida taken off at half time, couldn't get into the game against Greece. I think Michael Obafemi really didn't affect the game for the time that he was on it today. So you could argue still kind of searching for a partner up there. Benny, obviously, he'll come into the equation. He gets himself fit. for the game in September. So still looking for those combinations, the best combinations all around the pitch.
Shot charged down from Knight. He's had an okay game on that right hand side. Knight.
Oh, he's done better than that, John, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I think he's so versatile. It's difficult to pigeonhole him in terms of what's his best position. Right back now, right side of a midfield forward. He can play centre of a midfield 3, potentially as a 10 as well. Real kind of versatility, but great engine, great legs, as we've seen here this evening. So I think he's got to be invaluable to us between now and the end of the campaign.
Picks the ball up from Parrott. Parrott then gets the return ball in towards Ferguson on the edge of the area. Tried to drag it out in front of him, couldn't do so. Ireland scrambling to try and get something out of this ball, and eventually scrambled clear by the visitors. Starting to get a little dark now here, and a beautiful day in Dublin for this game. Well, the beautiful evening at least. There's a few showers around earlier on. Here's Parrott. Parrott tries to shot straight at the goalkeeper. Coling makes the save, but applause in the 66th minute for the effort from Ireland.
Yeah, I like that. John, Jason Knight, the right hand side, punching that ball on the inside into Will Smallbone. First touch again round the corner to Troy Parrott. One touch to steady himself and then shot on target. Looking to play forward, looking to play through the lines, being more positive rather than that sideways or backwards pass.
6-0 for England against North Macedonia. That's the way to see off minnows. And this is the same team that knocked the Italians out of the World Cup. Here's Johnston inside the penalty area. He shoots. Oh, it's spilled, and Troy Parrott couldn't knock it into the empty net. Back towards Cullen. Cullen tries the shot and is punched away by Coling, diving away to his left-hand side. And Cullen denied his first goal for Ireland, but they're starting to pepper shots in here, and it's going to be breached again. You would think there is more goals in the offing for Ireland. Here's Cullen again in that central position, moving towards the penalty area. Plays it in to Jamie McGrath, who's in the central position. McLean into the penalty area, and the goalkeeper drops it and then drops on the ball to keep it at 2-0 to Ireland in the 67th minute.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that cross from James McLean again into the box. Problem was Evan Ferguson was the only player in there. Troy Parrott, I know he might be playing maybe right of the front 3. And James McLean gets that ball on the left hand side on the edge of the box. He's got to be attacking that back post area as well. Got to get more bodies into the box. But you're right, John, it was a good shot from Mikey Johnson there a couple of minutes earlier, taking responsibility again. Dipping shot in front of the goalkeeper. Troy Parrott almost getting himself a tap in.
Niels Hartmann goes to ground, so you can hear the whistle there. Substitution for Nicholas Poulsen is coming off, and number 2, Ethan Jolly, is coming on for his 23rd cap, the 23-year-old. So that's their, fourth substitution, and it comes in the 68th minute. No surprise that they're making substitutes now. Pozo is going off. In fact, Pozo hasn't seen much of the ball. Nicholas Pozo, the 18-year-old, hasn't made his debut for Cadiz in Spain yet, but the ball wasn't up on that far enough on that part of the field for him to making any impact at all. So he's gone off, and he's been replaced by Ethan Jolly. So Wiseman, Melhui and DeBar on for the visitors. Troy Parrott and Mikey Johnston on for the Republic of Ireland. They lead by 2-0, but defending to do now as the ball is swung towards the back post, and Bazunu comes. Well, he doesn't collect, but he went straight through one of the Gibraltar players in an effort to get something on that, and then his ball has been taken away inside the penalty area, and Gibraltar might fancy even have a shot here. It'll be their first one, and they've got a corner out of that. That was very sloppy play by Dara O'Shea, who never got the ball clear, and eventually it came off John Egan, and it's the second corner of the match for Gibraltar.
Yeah, it was Dara O'Shea there, just trying to backheel under pressure inside the penalty box.
Yeah, could have gone anywhere, that one.
Yeah, done well to get back obviously and get the block, but yeah, just concentration there. No need to take those type of risks.
Bernardo Lopez from Lincoln Red Imps, underage for Portugal, dumps it into the penalty area. It's a good one too, and Bazunu has to make the save. There wasn't much purchase behind that. Well, that was nearly 2-1, and Bazunu grateful, and out towards Troy Parrott he goes, but a new standing captain, Chase Oliveira, just heads it out of play. And any kind of purchase on that, and it was 2-1.
It was Dara O'Shea, I think it would have been an OG. John, I think, not too sure. The ball came to the back post area. It came off the knee of Dara O'Shea, headed straight back towards the goal, thankfully straight into the arms.
He was under pressure, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was under pressure, yeah. Probably hadn't quite maybe cleared his head from that mistake a minute or so earlier.
Well, lucky. It's not 2-1. And again, the murmur in the crowd goes around. Here's Cullen. And he's been checked by Ethan Jolly, and Ethan Jolly's just on the pitch a couple of moments. Yeah, it's a yellow card. That's his first involvement, and Cullen goes to ground, and he's not happy at all. Talking to the referee, and the referee did give a yellow card here.
Yeah, he left a bit on him there, a little bit high as well. The bottom of the shin, easy decision for the referee. It's been a better half for Josh Cullen. John, a little bit of a struggle for him, maybe first half, certainly the game against Greece, but found a little bit of rhythm to his play second half, been a bit more accurate with his passing, more of a high energy performance from him, so that's good to see.
Free kick for Ireland midway inside the visitors' half of the field. Smallbone's going to take this. The referee's asking to restart the clock here. We're in 20 minutes to go. Ireland leading by 2-0, so the home support in good form, and why not? Very nice evening in Dublin for this international after the disappointment and the disappointing display, has to be said, against Greece on Friday. At least they're going to get their first points in the group after losing to France. They're away to France next, and they've got the Dutch at home. Big games, those. Here's the ball into the penalty area by McLean, and just cushions it out this near side to Jamie McGrath, the 26-year-old, to Egan, who's hugging their right-hand touchline in place of this man Knight. Knight will move and resume his position as Egan comes into a central position as a centre half. Here's Smallbone inside the Gibraltar half of the field. Again, it's Mikey Johnson running at players. Good to see. Does a little step over. Oh, and he just fooled the defender at that stage by not crossing and then doing it with his left foot. He's got 2 feet, which is great to see. Smallbone into the penalty area, punched away by the goalkeeper. He came close to losing that one to Jamie McGrath, but as it is, in the end, the keeper did well. And now they try to break out Gibraltar, and all O'Shea can do is just, or Egan I should say, is dump it into the Gibraltar half of the field just to make sure there was no breakaway. Remains 2-0.
Yeah, that was decent play again. Good deliveries into the box. Will Smallbone, like that cross. I like the run as well from Jamie McGrath. Just doesn't quite arrive quickly enough, but we need that. We need to get bodies from deeper areas arriving in there with Evan Ferguson. That's what he was trying to do.
Probably heard that in the background. Alan Brown on for Smallbone. Alan Brown, Smallbone, makes his way off after his second appearance for his country. And Alan Brown is on in his stead from Preston North End for his looking for his 6th goal and his 30th international. Cork-born from Preston. And Gibraltar make a substitution as well. Scott Ballantyne on as their 5th and final substitute. Matters not, this game is done and dusted. It's got a case of Ireland, can they get a few more here? They're leading by 2-0. We're in the 73rd minute.
Yeah, totally different type of player. Alan Brown coming on for Will Smallbone. I think he'd probably operate in maybe a wider position on the right hand side, but the player doesn't really want to come towards the ball and get involved like Will Smallbone. He wants to arrive in the box and get on the end of things, which he does really well. Big fan of Alan Brown's. Maybe doesn't dominate the ball for large periods of the game, but he steps up when it matters inside the opposition penalty box more than often.
Ferguson tries to lay it off to Barrett, but Barrett hadn't made the run. But it doesn't matter because they got out for a corner. It's Ireland's 7th.
Yeah, it's far better, John, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jamie McGrath fizzing that ball into the feet of Everton. Ferguson in the box. Didn't see that first half, and then Troy Barrett can make his run off that. Tried the first time pass round the corner. Didn't quite come off, but all well and good. I've no problem with that. At least we're getting into the danger area and asking questions in the defence.
It's Micah Johnston to take it then. It's going to swing in towards the penalty spot. And it was invitingly coming on towards the head of Darragh O'Shea before a man in white got something on that and diverted away. Here's Brown's first involvement and overlapping Knights. Can't get it across, but at least they get the corner. That's number 8 now for Ireland as we come to 16 minutes to go. Ireland leading 2-0. Going from bad to worse for North Macedonia, 6-0 down. Still 1-0 to France, by the way, against Greece in the 74th minute. Mbappe with the goal. I don't think we won actually Greece to score, did we? Here is a ball swung towards the back post. The keeper comes and doesn't claim. Well, he got something on that, he does. He got a little fingertip and just enough to divert it out for yet another corner. They're 9th. Johnson's going to take it, trot over to that left-hand side in front of the Lansdowne Road end, and oh no, they're going to try the Mexican wave. Don't sit down, lads.
Not even looking, John.
No,
not even looking.
No, I'm not getting interested in that. McLean, Johnston, inside the penalty area he goes. Off to Brown. Brown, central position. Oh, tried to lay it into O'Shea. Didn't work. And now a chance for, surprise, surprise, a Gibraltar break. They're inside the Irish half of the field. And they still have possession. And it's laid back towards the halfway line. I've been impressed with the way they've defended, but they're not coming forward in any great skill or passion about them at all. But they seem to be playing for their country and also for their coach, Julio Riberas. And if you buy into the philosophy of the manager, you can do well. You won't be having 7-0 defeats anymore. Might be 2 or 3, but it's certainly heartening. And you get an odd victory there and now and again against the likes of, say, I don't know, Malta or Liechtenstein. It certainly lifts a team like Gibraltar and players who've been playing with them for an awful long time, knowing full well they're never going to make a finals or anything like that. We have ambitions to do it likewise again. Here's Mikey Johnson on that left-hand side. Has a little look up, fires it into the penalty area, but the keeper, he was waiting like that for like a cat. That's the ball just into his midriff. It remains at 2-0 to Ireland. 75 minutes on the clock. Mikey Johnson, 53, and Evan Ferguson on 59, the goal scorers for Ireland. Clearance by the goalkeeper down towards the midway point of the Irish half of the field, midway inside the Irish half. Alan Brown has it at his feet, and he dumps it out to James McLean. Crowd are amusing themselves now with the Mexican wave. Out to McLean on that far side. Yeah, it's the last game of the season for these boys because the beach awaits for a lot of them, and they'll be back with us, most of these players anyway, for the games against France and also against the Netherlands. Hopefully get something out of France, hopefully get something out of the Netherlands, but you never know. Football's a strange game. Here's McLean as the Mexican wave goes on behind them on that left-hand side. The crowd ignoring the play at the moment. It's a little off-putting at times. Brown out tonight on the right-hand side. Pirates demanding it just outside the penalty area. We're in the 77th minute. Mikey Johnson looks for the ball on the left-hand side. If they got a goal, it would stop this Mexican wave. Johnston shoots. Oh! Good effort. He's got 2 feet on him, hasn't he? Right foot, cross goal, nearly made it 3-0.
Yeah, I like this. When he keeps his position wide, John, he wasn't attracted to the ball. He stayed wide and said, find me. When he gets the ball wide and he's driving at players, he's a difficult customer to deal with because, like you said, he can drop on his left or right shoulder. Predominantly likes to come inside on that right foot. Really whipped his foot around that, totally committed to it, didn't he? Just didn't quite get enough bend on it.
We don't have enough two-footed players, do we? We certainly don't. Many's a time, like McLean doesn't have a right foot in him to have a shot, but Mikey Johnson certainly has both feet. A lot of Gaelic footballers these days can hit left or right. We could do with a few of them ourselves just to change the angle of attack or shots as well and maybe surprise defenders. Here's Knight on the right hand side into the penalty area. He goes, shovels it across the penalty area. He's trying to pick out James McLean, but it didn't fall for him. In the way is Egan now, still in possession of the men in green. Out to Mikey Johnston. Johnson has a little look up, plays it into the penalty area, and just a little jiggle of the ball by Dale Coling, but he hangs on to it, and it remains 2-0. We've got 78 minutes on the clock. Now we're counting up those games. 600 games for the Republic of Ireland. We gave you 100 game, 203, 400 against Jamaica in the Unity Cup in London, June 2004. Gary Barrett, Ireland's match winner in that game. Clearance down towards the halfway line as the time is running out. I'll give you the 500th game.
I think I played in that one, John, the 400.
The Unity Cup.
Rings a bell, yeah.
In Jamaica in London. Gary Barrett.
In Jamaica? In London. Hold on.
London.
What?
Gary Barrett, Ireland's match winner, game 400 against Jamaica, Unity Cup London 2004.
Gary Barrett, I remember him well.
I remember him well, I bet you do. Here's Cullen in the area, lays it off. It's got to be McLean. Oh, what a save. What a save that was. McLean thought he got a goal on his 100th appearance. No joking, folks. He's 7 yards out, and the keeper pulls off a quite stunning save. My apologies. Defender got in the way and deflected up over the crossbar for a corner. I thought the keeper had saved it, but in the end, it was the feet of Scott Wiseman.
We're all willing that one in, John, weren't we? Right defending. Deflected it over the crossbar.
Play towards the near post, and it's come off the post. And it's Jamie McGrath with the header coming near post, who deflected it across goal, and it bounced away off the crossbar and away for a goal kick.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy header this. Maybe underhit a little bit from James McLean. Did exactly what he had to do. Just skimmed it off his forehead towards the goal. Just clipped the crossbar and over. It's been a good feature of the game. Jamie McGrath arriving late in the box. Spoke about Alan Brown, those kind of third man runs. Well, Jamie McGrath's more than capable of that as well. And what I like about him is his technique. He's a good player as well. John can receive the ball in this kind of central midfield areas as he is at the moment. You know, lend the ball around the pitch. He does like to arrive as well and get on the end of things. I'm quite impressed with him. He's grown into the game.
We've done our research here. You didn't play.
Oh,
No, you didn't play.
Brian didn't pick me. Left me out of that one, did he?
No. The 500th game, by the way, it's a corner for Ireland. World Cup qualifier against Germany in Cologne, October the 11th, 2013, under Noel King. And we lost 3-0. Were you involved in that one?
I probably played in that one. We
Probably
lost
played in
3-0.
that one, yeah. But Gary Barrett scored that goal in the Unity Cup and you weren't involved. Anyway, corner for Ireland. It's their 10th. Graham Barrett. Did I say Graham Barrett? Or, yeah, it was Graham Barrett or Gary Barrett.
I know what you meant, John. We know who you meant.
Yeah, definitely Graham Barrett. Okay. Gary Barrett was his father, I've been told. So 80 on the clock. There's your history lesson over now. 600 games. He did the 100 right through to the 600. Here's Alan Brown, does well on the halfway line. Lays the ball down to Mikey Johnson on the right-hand side. He switched wings. I love the cut of his jib. He's great across the area. That ball goes towards Ferguson. It gives so much more options for Ireland. Cries of shoot. Not giving it. McGrath out to Brown. Good win it to Ferguson. Keeper saves it. Well, not too convincingly down by his legs, but enough just to divert it out for Ireland's 11th corner.
Similar to that James McLean cross, John, was it? Not overcomplicating it one such and just pouring it into a really good area centre of the goal again. Evan Ferguson not looking to get himself involved in the play, staying away from it, just waiting for that one good quality delivery, which he got for his goal. He got it again there from Alan Brown. Again got his header on target. Unfortunately, just too close to the goalkeeper.
Johnson to take the corner then on the right-hand side. It's a good one too, but keeper is going to collect that under his crossbar and just drop to the ground and remains at 2-0. Michael Johnson's only on the field since half-time. He's player of the match so far, I think.
He certainly made an impression. Absolutely, John. The question is going forward, do you think, well, this lad's got to start next game around, where exactly do you play him? He's playing wide of a midfield front three in the second half. That means you can't play with an orthodox front two. Can you play him in the front two just off the front alongside Evan Ferguson in the central position? Possibly so. He likes to come into those central areas, John, off the flank, doesn't he? Receive the ball in the half turn. He's very comfortable in there. So that'll be an interesting one, something for the management staff to think about over the summer.
Ball's back with Alan Brown, centre position for Troy Parrott. Lays it inside, back to Cullen. Cullen swings it out to Johnston. Johnson in the penalty area. Tried to pick out Ferguson. Wasn't the greatest of crosses, but Ireland will try and retain possession outside the penalty area and do so with Cullen. What'll be 83 minutes on the clock now. Ireland leading by 2-0 into the latter stage of the game. We go with McLean to Johnston. Behind him is Troy Parrott. Parrott hasn't had much joy in the penalty area, but he's stick one Cullen into Parrott, and Parrott is forced a corner, has he? Yes, he has. That was better from Troy Parrott. I think he's been a little bit lonely inside the penalty area, not getting much of the ball, so he went out looking for it that time, and it nearly produced a goal.
Oh, yeah. Josh Cullen's best moment of the game, John. First time with the outside of his foot around the corner into the penalty box, into the pass to Troy Parrott. That was outstanding.
Evan Ferguson being replaced by number 10,
Adamida is coming on. He played the other night against Greece. Adamida of Norwich City on for his 15th cap. And Jason Knight and Jeff Hendrick comes on for yet another cap for the Newcastle United man, born in Dublin. 79 caps. Just the 2 goals. Not great return in terms of goals, but certainly has been around a long time. Hendrick, and is still part of Stephen Kenny's plans, even though he's on the bench these days. And that comes in the 84th minute with Ireland leading by 2-0. And plenty of congratulations for Andy Ferguson. 42,156 is the Tannoy announcement there of the crowd. 42,156. You're very welcome. Here's the corner now by McLean, and the 2 heads go for it. Brown shoots, and it ricochets around the penalty area, and it's gone out for yet another corner. What will be 2, 4, 6, 12 corners so far. I'm running out of the paper. 85 minutes, 2-0 to Ireland. Let's get another one, lads. Here's Johnston to take it on the right-hand side in front of the Lansdowne Road end. They're moving Stewards to end of match positions on the far side as Johnston plays it. It's not the greatest of corners, just couldn't beat the first man on the edge of the 6-yard box, so they should be able to clear down towards the halfway line. They're a well beaten side. They really defend quite well in numbers in the first half, and Ireland just had no idea how to break them down, but Johnston's made a big difference to this team in the second half. So we're into the last couple of minutes of this tie Group B match. The ball, it goes to Brown on the right hand side, plays it inside to Jeff Hendrick for his first touch. Hendrick now playing of course for Reading these days, but he's on the books of Newcastle. Now it comes to Brown. Stewards again moving in front of us, and also at the Lansdowne Road end of the ground as the ball is moved around the edge of the penalty area. Hartman tries to get it clear and he's fouled, and it's going to be a free kick as Lopez goes to ground for Gibraltar just outside the penalty area, and this little tap of thanks about that from Lopez to, who was it, Adamida.
Yeah, be interesting. I spoke about food for thought for Stephen Kenny over the summer. Jason Eyes obviously seriously pushed himself into the equation for the start against France in a couple of months. I also think maybe in terms of the shape of the team as well, John, he's been pretty loyal or fixed on the back three, back five for quite some time now, but haven't gone to the back four in the second half, kind of more of a 4-3-3. You could argue maybe it suited us better. I mean, obviously we couldn't, tempo's been better, don't get me wrong, second half, and not the strongest of opposition here, but just having that extra player higher up the pitch, better combinations in the wide areas, we've looked a little bit better because of it. So again, food for thought for the manager, whether maybe abandons that kind of back three for the game in France and goes with the 4-3-3 that we've seen in the second half of this game. And then it's all about personnel combinations in that midfield three area. Jamie McGrath, I think, has got stronger as the game's gone on. He's impressed. He certainly pushed himself forward, and I've mentioned the other couple of players as well. So yeah, a lot of food for thought for the manager, Keith Andrews, Josh O'Shea. A lot of conversations, I'm sure, between them over the summer with those big games to come against France and Holland.
France still leading incidentally by a goal to then Mbappe's goal on 88 against Greece. England are running riot against North Macedonia, 7-0 up there.
Harry Kane penalty, it's got to be one, surely.
Turkey 2-0 up against Wales. Wales are not having a good time, having beaten by Armenia over the weekend as well. Northern Ireland are losing at home to Kazakhstan, oh dear. They're towards the end of that match, the ball's fizzed into the Gibraltar area once again, and it's cleared. It's going to be a throw this near side for Ireland in the last couple of minutes of the game. We've got 2 minutes to go plus added time. There'll be a bit of that. Troy Parrott throws his hand up and says, Cullen, why didn't you put the ball into me? I was in the clear, but Cullen didn't see him, so he played into Hendrick. Hendrick tries to do something similar. That's terrible. He's lucky he's going to get a second chance here. Hendrick, well, he doesn't in the end because it's nicked away from him. All down towards the halfway line, and Ireland now trying to get a third goal before we wrap things up here at the Aviva Stadium. Hope you enjoy the coverage. Wasn't great in the first half, much better second half. Mikey Johnston's made the difference since he's come on. Here's Hendrick in conjunction with Johnston. Victoria Guimarães in Portugal is his club. Gets his first goal for Ireland, and it was added to by a nice Evan Ferguson header, who got his second goal for Ireland in 6 internationals to add to the 10 goals he got for Brighton this year. He's only 18 years of age. He's a great prospect and a lovely header of the ball, and Ireland commit the foul. Troy Parrott just in the midway point of the Gibraltar half of the field, so it's going to be a free kick to Gibraltar. Stephen Kenny was down below us, and he celebrated big time, didn't he, when they got the second goal in particular. And it looks like Jason Knight's got man of the match. I think that's not too bad. I thought he played quite well.
Strasbourg player of the match, Republic of Ireland's number 17, Jason Knight.
Yep, there's the announcement. Mikey Johnston played really well since he's come on, but in the context of a whole game, you like him.
Yeah, I think him and James McLean, maybe sentiment, the fact James, obviously heavy hand in that second goal for Evan Ferguson. Maybe some people might have shouted up James. It was a tie call though, but no problems with Jason getting it. Really enjoyed his performance. Like you'd probably say, wasn't tested too much defensively in that kind of right wing back in orthodox right back position in the second half, John, against stronger opposition. I'm thinking of France here in particular. You know, could you trust him to play as an orthodox right back against someone like Mbappe? But not too many can deal with him 1v1. It's all about the team structure around that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Jason's and his versatility, and he's shown that again this evening.
There's two people on the pitch with cameras acting the idiot. We don't care about them. They're on the left-hand side. They're away from the play. Here's Adamida across the goal. And they still can't catch this security man. Can't catch this one lone culprit out on the pitch. And he hurdles the flag on the far side before he's eventually caught and he'll be thrown out of the ground. Two of them obviously on a little libation or something.
Yeah.
And,
that'll be on TikTok, John, in about 30 seconds.
Oh,
I
yeah,
imagine.
good. The world doesn't revolve around TikTok and Instagram, I'm afraid. 3 minutes to go. We're into the first of that now. At the end of the 90, the bells are peeling away for the Republic of Ireland, who lead by 2-0 here. Let's see if we can get another one. James McLean. Well, it's a huge seagull coming towards us, looking for something after the game when the crowds eventually make their way out. They are circling because they know the game is coming to an end. They must have the watches on as well. Here's McLean across the area, tries to pick out Adamida, didn't quite work, and back towards McLean again, who stumbled. If he'd gone to ground, there could have been a penalty. In fact, he's laughing himself and the referee had a little laugh together. The crowds were saying, come on, that could have been a penalty if he'd gone to ground, but that's up to McLean to fall, isn't it? Here's to Johnston out on that far side and plays it into McLean and turn to Josh Cullen.
Yeah, I think you'd have to give the manager a little bit of credit tonight, John, in terms of substitution at half-time. A lot of talk about the substitutions and change of formation at half-time against Greece. Maybe didn't work for us then, but certainly couldn't make that accusation tonight. Going to the back four, the introduction of Mikey Johnson, like you said, the impact he had. Not just that.
Ida McLean with the cross. It's his second assist. Anita puts the ball to the net. And that's just wrapped things up nicely. As you were talking there, Adam Ida. First goal. Nice header. And that's the way it should be. 2 minutes at the amount of time. It's 3-0.
Yeah, we'll be talking about we want to play the beautiful game, John, but this is a beautiful goal for me. Not overcomplicated again. Very similar to the Evan Ferguson goal. Just get the ball in a wide area. Gibraltar's back off. James McLean, early delivery into the box, into the exact area where Evan Ferguson scored from. And Adamida was the man in the right place at the right time. Again, it's a relatively easy finish for the Irish centre forward. But again, just another little indicator for us going forward. Now, a lot of talk, we want to play a different brand of football, a different style of football. But no coincidence, the two key goals this evening have really come from an area of the pitch where traditionally we've been very strong, working the ball down the sides, putting good quality into the box and getting people arriving, John. Sometimes it can be a simple game made complicated.
30 seconds to go, and that goal makes it 3-0. Adamida in the 92nd minute.
Patched out with it. He patched out. He said 3-4, 5 or 6-0. You reckon for Ireland?
Who's this?
One of that, Pat.
Oh, did?
One of them 40 said, yeah.
Did he have an old 20p on it? Did he? He did. Thumbs up.
That's not betting, man.
That's it. It's all over. 3-0. Mikey Johnston made a difference as he came on. He opened the scoring on 53. His shot, free kick from Smallbone, fell his way. Then McLean, with his 100th cap, becomes assist number one for a header from Evan Ferguson. That was the second goal for Ireland. And then Adamida on 92 minutes wrapped it all up for Ireland. Another assist from McLean. He's had a good night. Ireland have done the job. They've won by 3-0. Last word from you, Kenny.
Do you know what? I'm really pleased for the players. Close-ups there. The manager, Keith Andrews, really pleased for them. Smiles on their faces. Didn't see too much of that the past couple of days. Certainly not over in Greece. Gives us something. Gives some kind of hope going into the games in September. I don't think a huge amount has changed, John, in terms of what we've seen this evening. Still bigger questions going forward, particularly with the quality of opposition that we're going to face. But some good individual performances there second half. And certainly things for the manager to think about in terms of personnel, but also maybe more important in terms of maybe team formation for those games coming down the line.
France still lead Greece by 1-0. Greece playing a lot of that game with only 10 men, with Mavropanos sent off in the 69th minute, and Kylian Mbappe has opened the scoring for them. So it looks like they're going to be 4 for 4, and they're going to beat Greece by 1-0. They're well into injury time there. Here, Marie, it's finished in victory for Ireland, first win of the Group B campaign, and they've won here 3-0.
Thanks, John and Kenny. Well, we were hoping for a better second half. We certainly got that, Pat Fenlon. You predicted a 3-0 victory, and that's what it finished.
Yeah, I said it stuck with me 2 or 3. I said at the start, for the second half was much better. Introduction, I agree with Kenny as well. Stephen got a fair bit of criticism for the changes in the Greece game. His changes tonight worked. Mikey Johnson, we did say as well at half time, when you've got Ferguson or Femi in the box, get crosses in, and that's what we did in the second half. We were much more direct, but our passing was better as well. We looked forward quicker. We got the ball out wide, little combination wide areas, half a yard and deliver. Again, McLean was decent as well, put some good balls into the box. Mikey Johnson, like we spoke of, he's direct. He attracts people to him, which opens up space for other players. First half was forgettable, but second half was a big improvement. We scored some decent goals. We don't score three goals too many times neither. So, listen, we've done what we expected us to do, was to win the game comfortable.
Absolutely. Keith Tracy, your thoughts on that second half performance?
Yeah, I thought the second half was a lot better. We restricted Gibraltar, only had the one shot on target. It might have even been an OG had it ended up in the back of the net, but we limited Gibraltar to very, very little. We went and won the game, and look, Kenny's right what he was saying in commentary there. You don't have to complicate it. If Gibraltar are going to give you the wide area, just go and give the ball to Mikey Johnson, tell him to take on his man every single time. And you see him when he did that straight away, the right winger for Gibraltar's coming back to help his mate out, and then all of a sudden we're creating overloads in different areas of the pitch. And I think a lot more quality just went into the box. And like you say, when we've got Evan Ferguson now, we have a big lad in there that it doesn't have to be the best ball into the world. You just put a half decent ball in there, and you know Evan Ferguson's not going to be too far away from it. And if he's not too far away from it, we've every chance of picking up a second ball. So a lot more quality goes into the box. I thought the Ferguson's goal in particular was a really, really good team goal. I'm not sure the amount of passes we got, but really, really good pass. And as soon as we got the chance to put it into the box, we did. Ferguson's on the move, and we hit the back of the net. But I thought Mikey Johnson was brilliant when he came on. A little bit fortuitous, the first goal hits off the wall, and it's just a tap in. But I think that really broke the Gibraltar hearts, and what we did really well, Marie, I thought we turned the screw a lot better. We kept the pressure high, we kept the ball moving, and Gibraltar, as we knew, history would tell us they will give us chances. They gave us chances, and we managed to take a couple of them.
Stephen Kenny and the Ireland team are just walking around the pitch now, clapping with the fans. A really big hug there between Stephen Kenny and Evan Ferguson as well. It's probably a sign that he knows that he leads Evan Ferguson for the future for his job.
That's a relief. Oh, it's got a relief. Yeah, listen, he's been gone in for a hard time over the last few days, and it's difficult when you're in that position as a manager as well, and you're getting a lot of flack. So he'd be delighted with the result tonight. The performance, he knows the first half probably wasn't good enough. Second half, like you said, has improved. There was some good performances as well. I thought Asa Knight was very good at right back. Our right wing back. He was very, very aggressive, attacking, got forward a lot. Again, Kenny mentioned maybe that defensive bit. If he comes up against a proper wild player, he's able to do that. And just watching the players and the staff giving a guard of honour to, well, they're not giving them a guard, they're giving them I don't know what you call that.
Now, I think.
Yeah. So he deserves that coming off, James, doesn't he? And again, he had another good game tonight. I thought was, again, we know what we get from him, but he put some ghost balls into the box. And that was it. When, like you say, if we've got Ferguson in there, utilise what he's good at. He's good around the box. I thought he played a little bit more central, particularly when Femi went off. I thought he played a little bit more central and higher up, because Parrott was the one drifting into the little areas, and he didn't have to do that. So, listen, there is pluses to it. There's no doubt about that. I thought Jamie McGrath had a decent game as well. I thought he grew into the game. I thought he started the game well. Went out a little bit. I thought the second half he used the ball. I just thought the tempo of our passing was much better in the second half. It was crisper, it was quicker, it was into feet, it was nice and bright, nice and early, and we did cause them problems. And we as Keith said, when we had them, we went for them. And that's what happened. That's where we ended up getting the 3 goals. We had them under pressure. We didn't take the foot off the pedal, and we kept going.
Stephen often comes under criticism for his in-game management. The changes that he made definitely worked. The change of shape, the 4-3-3 also seemed to suit this team. What we need to figure out now, or what he needs to figure out over the next few months, is the combinations. But do you think that a 4-3-3 is better for this Ireland team going forward, Keith?
Tonight it was, yeah, but like I say, it's horses for courses. I don't think you can throw a blanket on this Irish team and say we're going to play 4-4-3 moving forward, or 4-3-3 moving forward, excuse me. I think when the bigger nations, when the like of France, the Holland come here, I think we will revert back to 5 at the back. But again, that's needs must. We can't go toe to toe with these countries. We can't. We've tried it over the last 25 competitive games and we've only won 5 of them. So we need to be a little bit more pragmatic. We can play 4-3-3 against Gibraltar. That's no problem. But I just don't see us being able to play 4-3-3. We can be a little bit leaky at the back when the bigger teams come here. So I do think we need that defensive solidity. But like I say, for the second half tonight, it worked a treat. I thought Mikey Johnson was brilliant, and it was fair play to Stephen Kenny, because Pat seen it up here at half time. It's easy for us to see it up here. Down at pitch level, he took Collins off because there was no need for him to be there. We 3 centre halves, and we had Gibraltar pinned back in their 18-yard box. When he kicked it long, it was 3 against 1, and their striker was never ever getting the ball. So Collins was just a bystander, so we took him off, put Johnson on, and it did change the game. We had a lot more impetus in the wide areas.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to hearing what Stephen Kenny has to say. I'd imagine, as you said, Pat, that there's going to be a lot of relief there from tonight's performance, tonight's victory. We're going to take a quick break. Stay with us, though. Plenty more analysis to come.
RTE 2FM.